and welcome to the Absolute Football Podcast, Absolutely Lower League, the show dedicated to everything from the EFL Championship, League One, League Two, the Vanarama National League, and the Vanarama National League North and South. And this week I did my introduction right. I didn't realise, but watching it back last week, I did it wrong. I didn't notice. I don't know why I did it wrong because I say it every week, but yeah, I did it wrong.
It is a mouthful, though, isn't it?
It is a mouthful, honestly. It really is.
More like two mouthfuls.
But of course, I couldn't do it alone. So what a team I have tonight. Anne, I've missed you.
Oh, have you?
I really missed you, I have.
No.
How are you and how's your week been?
Best not ask. I'm all right, yeah. My week's been completely and utterly disastrous with my dad, but he's all right. Like I say, he's okay. Just a little bit of a shock to about to send him back to hospital. But yeah, apart from that, good. Yeah, really enjoyed last night hosting the women's one. We had a bit of fun. So yeah, back tonight. Thanks, though. I've missed you too, by the way. I've missed everybody.
Ah, honestly, I feel okay now. I've got you back, Anne.
Oh, bless you.
I feel like, because obviously we've done it from the start, when you're not around, I miss you.
Yeah, I get that.
Withdrawal symptoms.
Oh.
Another person that I've really missed, because I've not seen you in a while. Rebecca, how are you and how's your week been?
I'm very well, thank you. Football aside, if we forget about last night and Tuesday, we're fine. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. A bit hectic with uni coming up to the end of the year. The end of year 2 is in sight, but yeah, I've had my dissertation plan all accepted and put through so I can get started on that next year.
Yay! I do not know how you do everything you do, honestly. Honestly, and then still have the time for us as well.
Of course.
So we really do appreciate it. And someone who has been on the podcast most weeks, but obviously I still miss you as well. Ben, how are you and how's your week been? Didn't want to leave you out.
It's been all right. As you can probably notice, I haven't got a cap on. That's because I've actually had a fresh trim now, so I'm actually a bit more happy about my hair. So, because it's been disastrous the last few weeks. But yeah, other than that, it's been fairly chill week, to be honest. It's sort of nice a little bit, really, to have no midweek games at all to worry about. So yeah, no, it's been ideal. How are you, Shah?
I'm really good, thank you. I mean, me and you, 4-0 club.
Of course, yeah.
4-0 club.
Big wins of this season now. Oh!
Got a late entry.
Surprise!
I know.
Hello,
I've just been telling everyone how much I miss them. So, Dan, I've really, really missed you as well. How are you and how's your week been?
It's been all right. It's been all right. I've just got back from seeing family, and we've come up from Cornwall, so that's been nice to have a catch up. Been out in the sun. Us gingers shouldn't stay out that long, so I'm back home now.
Have you put your cream on?
No, I haven't. I like to live life on the edge.
Oh,
so
like it.
I like a day off work for sunburn. So so why not? But no, it's been all right. It's actually not been too bad. The weather's been nice, so it always puts a smile on your face when the sun's shining. And now I'm here with you, beautiful lot. So why have I not got a reason to smile?
Exactly. And of course, people who, even though they did come in the chat when I was on with Lucas and Sam on Tuesday, but I always miss them. We have got Chris. I mean, I'll be nice to you for now, but we're enemies, aren't we, on Saturday? Looking forward to that game, but good evening to you, Chris. We have Luke as well. Or someone who might not like me either, because we've now gone above them in the league, sorry. Someone's going to hate me tonight. All right, everyone. Still in misery and pain. No Gateshead wins in 6. I feel like Kieran right now. Surely it's not that bad. Oh.
Speak of the devil.
Surely it's not that bad. But Kieran, Luke is feeling like you. Are you depressed or are you a bit more cheerful?
I'll tell you what, I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, go on.
Guys, I'll be
podcast right now.
I am fantastic.
Kieran, the Welsh assassin, is happy. Get in.
Assassin is happy indeed. I've quit my job. I've got a gig full time doing content creation and doing all this stuff. Thought, you know what? Jump on the podcast. I saw that Dan also decided that he wanted to do a surprise lead entry. So here we are.
I know. I mean, I don't know who else has got the link, but feel free to come on. Might send it on my family group chat and see who's available at this point, because everyone's surprising us.
I have sent it to my nan, so she will be here in the next 5 to 10 minutes if she finds out.
Oh, not the only nans again.
No, not. This is actual. Unfortunately, this is my actual nan and not part of the Only Nans website, which is the entire reason, guys, that I'm able to do my full-time content creation, because Only Nans is kicking off. It is everywhere.
Yeah,
that's what. Okay, I'm retracting that one. You know what? I'm leaving now. I'm coming back next week. Bye.
No, moving on from that, Graham. We have the lovely Graham with us, and I know he's very excited as well to talk about Charlton. He did mention it. I love this as well. Sam, our very own Sam. We all love Sam. If you don't love Sam, then what are you doing? Because everybody loves him. But evening, everyone. Hope you're having a top day. Hashtag Devante Rodney is back. He is back indeed. We've got Kyle, the legends return. I love that he calls us legends. Like, I feel like I've accomplished something in life right now.
I love how he calls us legends, but then also he's madly wrong. So, you know.
Speak for yourself, man. I'm joking.
My mum, man.
I'll say that when he says it. Like, come on. Hope you're okay, Kyle. We've got a lot of chat, so thank you. Kieran.
Look, I was there.
We've got Kieran and he's here now.
Well, that comment is right. Like, truth be told, you put a bad. We'll move on.
We've got Simon as well. Hi, Simon. We have got Richard. Hope everyone has had a good week. We hope you have too. Chris is excited to see Dan the man. Graham has put a 4-0 club member here too. I know, I'm sorry. Oh, we've got Jen as well. Hi, besties. Miss you all. We miss you too. We really do. We will talk about Morecambe for you. Do not worry. We've got Daniel. Hi from a Reading fan. Hello. Hope you're okay. Who else have we got? Luke is still feeling. I think I am the new Kieran at this point.
It's all right. I'll be back again next week, miserable because of something entirely unrelated to football. It's fine. Don't worry.
I agree with this as well. Everyone does need a Sam in their lives, and we do have him. We love him. Sean has put, hi guys, hope you're doing well. Miserable week to be a Northampton fan. I feel like every week these days is a miserable week by you, Sean. It's not good, is it, being a Northampton fan at the minute? Bless you. Hopefully it will pick up. We've got Aled as well. Evening all. He's excited to see Dan the man too. I mean, at this point, should we all go and leave Dan to it?
Only Dan's.
Only Dan's.
Only Dan's. I mean, I love it. But we do have to
appreciate the love, by the way.
Oh.
He's feeling the love.
I know.
The only Dan's love.
Only Dan's, yeah.
You know what it is?
The only Dan's in the village.
He's the only Dan's in the village, he is. Oh, bloody hell, yeah.
What did you say? Sorry, Ant?
I'm saying we've been here all season, Char. I've been missing 3 weeks. No love down that side for us. Dan pops his head around once every blue moon. Hello, exactly. Dan.
Exactly.
He was on a bloody Coventry podcast, ladies and gentlemen, today.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
Been slagging Sunderland off as well, Ant, so don't worry about it.
It's washing it about, haven't we, on the Coventry podcast?
Yay!
Here it is.
I'm so excited. I've missed you. Deidre, evening all. I'm so sorry it's been a while. Hope you're all well. We're even better now for seeing you. We've missed you. Oh, I feel like tonight is complete now. Now we've got Deidre in. We've got everything. Yeah. I was saying last week how much I missed her.
Deidre, click on the link. We've got everyone else in. You might as well join us.
Yeah, come and join us.
I saw her on Saturday at the Acme and Bradford match.
Oh, I love her.
We had a little meet up.
Oh,
is she as lovely in person as she is online?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, she is the most loveliest person.
Did you have to stop talking after 7:30 in case neighbours complained?
No, it was Bob on 7. We had to. Thankfully, it was 12:30 kickoff, so there weren't too many issues.
A motorbike has just gone past my house and shut me up. That's why I jumped. Sorry. I've even got this and I can still hear it, so I do apologise.
And you're going to have to take over the show again because Charlotte's going to have to go change.
It's on the intro now, so you're all right now for the rest of the night.
That really scared me. But yes, we are going to have to talk football, and what a place to start for me anyway. National League. So, do you know what, Ben? I'm going to come to you first. Any standouts for you on this slide?
Well, got to state the obvious, haven't we? A big old win for the day away. Got to head that way in 4-0 club. Do you know what? There's not really too many, if I'm being totally honest with you. I mean, the one, obviously, Dagenham needed a huge win they did against Maidenhead because they were very much slipping down the table and in what was probably, I guess, a relegation 6-pointer. I think Josh Rees got the winning goal on that one, so that's massive for them because, I mean, albeit they're still in a bit of a predicament at the moment, it's just about keeping their head above water. But I don't know if anyone saw or not, in the Forest Green Solihull game, what a goal from Adam May, by the way.
Brilliant.
It's probably the goal of the week. If you haven't seen it, go and look it up. It was an absolutely tremendous goal. I think he bent it right in the top corner. Certainly up there for goal of the season in the National League. So, yeah, I wanted to give him a shout out on that. But, yeah, I mean, other than that, it's not, I mean, again, another big win for Boston. You know, I mean, albeit they didn't go plan for on Tuesday, they are creeping up there. And I think I'm still sticking to our predictions that we all are. I think they're going to stay up. They're going to have a little bit of a fall every so often. But, yeah, if they're getting wins like against Sutton, who, you know, have always been a fairly good side and always been established National League club, then got every chance. So yeah, that's probably that. It's pretty much straightforward, I think, all round.
Yeah, definitely. Two teams I did want to mention. I am getting quite scared about them though because they are creeping up behind us. But obviously, Southend beating Oldham, so always a nice sight to see Oldham get beat. Obviously, from a Rochdale fan point of view, but yeah, they're really picking up the points. And Tamworth.
Yeah.
Like Tamworth at the minute, they're scaring me.
They're under no pressure though, aren't they? It's one of them.
No.
Because they're one of the very few part-time sides in that league. I know the manager's gone full-time, but I don't know. This run they've put together is absolutely unbelievable. For the league opponent, and they've had to play a lot of man games because they've had to play catch up a little bit. Only thing that might let them down potentially getting into the playoffs is their goal difference. But then again, I think if you offer their fans third round of the FA Cup again, playing against Tottenham, taking them to extra time, and being top half of the National League in your first season back in the division, I think they would have all taken that and snapped your hand off for it. So yeah, I've got to give them a big shout out. What a tremendous season they've had so far.
100%. Let's go to the chat really quickly. Bless him. Luke has put, do we really have to talk about this? I mean, you don't have to, Luke. You really don't have to. But I know the fan that you are, win, draw, or lose, you will talk about it, bless you. So he has put, and to be honest, it is against Barnet. Barnet are a really good team. Really good team. So yeah, he put Barnet away. I didn't really keep track of this game, and thank God I didn't in the first half. In fact, we just couldn't match Barnet's quality. They are up there for a reason, and we just have to accept. There we go. Second half. However, we actually tried in the second half, and we managed to score a goal from which we haven't been able to do in past games. And then he's put, but I cannot stress how much we need a win against Dagenham. It's like so important, and I hope we don't lose. Otherwise, I will start to lose hope on the playoffs.
Have you seen who's taking them over? Well, who's part of the consortium who's taking them over? Former Everton Sunderland man, Victor Anichibi.
Yes.
Yeah.
The big beast.
That's a proper Barclays man right there, isn't it?
He was a beast before Akron Fenwal. Literally Akron Fenwal wears Victor Anichibi pajamas, like. You know what I mean? He was a proper man.
Probably got pictures of him as well and praying to him every night in his dreams.
Chris has put, what a goal for Forest Green. I call it Dazen, but everyone calls it DAZN. But I call it Dazen.
Yeah.
Dazen. Finally put highlights up for once and saw the Forest Green goal. Unbelievable. I know, a very good goal. Aladis put, doesn't look like 2 games got the memo, but feel Ben would like the reverse for the Ebbsfleet game.
Possibly, yeah. But, that's the thing. Look, they're under no pressure. I mean, they've had a pretty bad week as well because they lost in the Kent Senior Cup final last night to Welling, and that's probably their only glimmer of hope of taking something for this season. They couldn't even do that. So, yeah, don't worry, absolutely. You only got, 5-6 games left, and then you can come back down to the south where all the the real action happens.
Barnet flying, they are. Chris has put as well. Hartlepool booking a trend there, Graham. I know, because look, the home wins.
Hell of a result for them, though, to be fair. Like, with Halifax, they've been playing really well. And obviously, Hartlepool have been struggling. Most of the team's been a struggle, hasn't it? So good to say that they're not going to go down, at least, anyway. So that's good news.
Is it worth mentioning as well about what's happened at Yeovil Town as well this week? Because obviously there was a lot of... Because obviously a lot of points were made towards their owner who banned fans from their club for having an opinion on things. And now, obviously, I knew full well after that happened, he would not last, probably a few weeks at that club. It's obviously less than that. He lasted about less than a week. And obviously now he's resigned now, hasn't he? Which, to us, can't blame him because, I've seen so many stories about that man. I really do wonder why they got him in the first place, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah, I think Yeovil fans are probably going to be well over the moon in that, and especially been brightened up by 3 points of the weekend, which again probably secures their safety now in the division. But yeah, it's absolutely mental what's been going on down there.
Imagine if our clubs did that. If after watching this podcast and we got banned for having an opinion.
Banned for every single one of us.
Kieran would be long gone from Newport.
I not only would I be long gone from going to Rodney Parade, I'd be banned from Newport. I wouldn't be able to go anywhere near the place, which, in credit, and this will also mean I might get banned from the entire DSL of Wales. Maybe it's not a bad thing.
You're definitely not.
I just can't understand that someone's actually got to sit there and type up that letter, and they must be thinking to themselves, "What the hell am I writing?" Because I guess it wasn't the chairman that wrote that himself. I would be very surprised if he did.
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me at all. Like the Chef Wed chairman wrote another, proper crap statement to the fans last week. I mean, it's just these people got
because they didn't pay, did they?
Behind ears, haven't they? That's absolutely mental.
In the chat, Kieran would be sent to Bradford as a punishment. And then
I think I'm getting banned from Bradford as well. Let's be fair.
Jenny's excited. She's put Barnet away if we stay up. Then Alad's put really don't want Barnet up.
No, you don't, Jenny. It's awful.
I know.
I think Alan's in for a bit of a disappointment, because Barnet aren't going up.
Graham put, when you stay up, Jen, I like that. I like the positive thinking, Graham. And then Luke went, it won't affect you, Aled. You'll be in a different division to them. I love this from Graham as well. I know we will get onto it later, but I like that, the positivity. We like positivity on this podcast. Yeah, no one wants to go to Barnet. You all know what happened with me in Barnet. I fell asleep, stood up. So have a great time, Jen. Have a great time. We've got as well Dan, even Shah, how are you and the boys? We're very good, thank you. And up the Dale. Do you know what? What a great segue. I mean,
can I just say as well, Dan 76, we're all okay as well. So just,
I hope you can include Rebecca in that as well, to be honest. Unless you're part of the boys now, are you, Rebecca?
No,
I think you meant my kids. You meant my kids. I know Dan from Twitter.
Can you imagine that next season if we win an award and it was Shah and the boys and we just all rock up behind
No, I know Dan from my Twitter, bless him, and he always asks about my kids. It's
obviously, we couldn't do this show alone, and then we all fucking spring out the corner.
Me and the lads. Oh, funny. Before I go to obviously talk about Dale, Jenna's put, I'll send you a picture of me asleep. Yeah, definitely do.
Whoever goes Planet has to recreate that photo now.
Yeah, everyone who visits now has to pretend to be asleep.
I thought Jen was just going to send you a picture of her asleep. I was like, what's going on here?
I'm not that way, I promise.
We're in the group chat, Jen.
Do it for all of us. Only snooze, yeah, that's another one.
I reckon Jen's a sleep talker, isn't Jen? She talks in her sleep.
I am.
I reckon it's definitely.
Tom White with her.
Oh yeah, I'm a sleep talker. I just talk in general, me. I mean, no wonder I've always got a sore throat. Chris said that you did a fantastic job yesterday.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, feel free. Send me pictures. Go for it, Jen.
Get it in the group chat, Jen. Come on.
We're all friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously a game I really do want to talk about is obviously our 4-0 win. All I want to say is Devante Rodney is back, and I'm so happy he is back because we've really, really missed him. We have got a lot of injuries at the moment. We are struggling. Obviously, it's been back-to-back games every Tuesday, every Saturday for the past however long. I do not know. It's been a good few months. But obviously, that's taken its toll on our team. Ryan East, who I have spoke about a lot this season, he's been the core of our midfield with Harvey Gilmore. Unfortunately, he's out for the rest of the season, which is a massive, massive loss for us. But yeah, the game on Saturday, a very, very good performance. From an older shot perspective, I thought they looked very tired as well. Obviously, they do have a few games to catch up on. They did, because obviously they are through to the semi-finals of the FA Trophy alongside us. But yeah, they did look very tired. We didn't really allow them to play their football, similar to the game earlier in the season. A lot of Aldershot fans as well, which I thought were really nice, were really giving us a lot of credit, saying how good we played, how we've been one of the best sides, obviously, both games that they've seen this season, which is always really nice and refreshing to see, especially considering some of our fans often don't like the style of football we play and they're wrong constantly at the players. So it's nice for opposition fans to kind of give us credit. But yeah, first goal was Sam Beckwith from a corner, which never happens as well, which was absolutely massive for us. A very good goal indeed. Unfortunately, though, he did go off injured just before half-time, which wasn't good at all. But yeah, second goal, Devante Rodney, and then Devante Rodney again in the second half with his third, and a Devante Rodney assist to the goal, Ian Henderson, feed the goal and he will score. But a massive shout out I wanted to give for that goal to Taryn Alarakia, because I know he's had a lot of stick from our fans, but what a fantastic run. Obviously a great ball then to Devante Rodney, and he set Ian Henderson up fantastically. And yeah, it was just a really enjoyable game. But unfortunately, like I did mention, Sam Beckwith went off. Jake Berger went off injured as well. I'm hoping he's okay, and we've just rested him because he didn't play on Tuesday. He's Ryan East's replacement, so that's not good if he's injured. Liam Hogan as well went off injured. And one person I did want to mention as well is obviously our new keeper, who has been on loan at Solihull Moors previously, Killian Barrett. He didn't really have much to do that game, but it's quite big boots to fill from Sam Waller, who Dan will know very, very well. Unfortunately, the game before he went off with a hamstring injury. He is out for the rest of the season, which is so sad because Sam Waller has been absolutely brilliant for us. We love him so much. Like, they put a tweet out about obviously how long he's injured for, and he actually quote tweeted it and said how much he loves the club. He'll be at every game supporting us as well, which is obviously fantastic, along with some of the other guys who we have on loan who are injured. They keep coming supporting us, which is just massive, and something that I really do like to see, because in previous seasons we haven't really had that togetherness, and Jim McNulty has brought that back to the club. But yeah, just wishing Sam Waller all the best, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it isn't the last time we see him in a Rochdale shirt, because what a keeper he is.
I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be.
I'm hoping, because what a keeper he is, honestly. The fans love him so much.
That's what he needs at his age as well. That's what he needs at his age. He needs to be playing regular football. And I think he said it in an interview, didn't he, as well, that to be getting the difference between playing your under-21s games and sitting on a bench and watching, and then having to go to these where your pitch is cut up and you're having to really think about, these shots taking a bobble off, the grass being dodgy, and you've got to really work hard and think about your next move. So I think he's really, really lapping it up and enjoying his time. It's just a shame that it's been cut short with that injury, but I don't think personally it will be the last time you see him in a Rochdale shirt.
Fingers crossed. And perfect timing, my sister has come in. She started watching Dale as well, bless her. Like,
Super Sam Waller and go.
Oh, I like him. But yeah, Amy is my sister. Do you know what? She's a United fan, but for last year, she's been coming to the Dale games, and I'm thinking and I'm hoping we have converted her. Like, she
it won't take much. United are sharks.
But honestly,
sorry, Sam. And Amy.
But yeah, Super Sam Waller in goal, and as I mentioned, I'm hoping it is not the last time we see him, because we all love him so much. so much. But yeah, I will quickly just touch on Nice. So obviously a massive win for Aldershot. It's not looking good for AFC Fylde, is it, at the moment? They are really struggling. Something that I did want to point out as well, obviously the Wealdstone-Boston game, a massive win, obviously for Wealdstone. Boston have been flying at the moment, especially away as well. They've been picking up a lot of points away. So that's a fantastic win. And then obviously the Woking-Rochdale game, I'm not going to speak too long about this, but Devante Rodney scoring again. Very good goal. Woking, to be fair, before the game, I would have took a point. Very disappointing, obviously, the fact that we did concede very late on, and it was a penalty that, unfortunately, Kyron Gordon gave away. He's been magnificent for us this season. So to the fans who were giving him grief, saying he's not good enough, shut up. People give away penalties. It was a penalty, yes, but shut up. He is good enough. You just take your frustration out, take a moment to actually think about what you're writing, because if we didn't have Kyron Gordon this season, we'd be in a worse position, because you all know he is more than good enough. But yeah, I don't know if anybody saw the live stream that I was on the Premier League show, but it was a bit of a watch along that we were doing, me, Sam and Lucas. And if anybody did see the last 10 minutes of that game, we really did hold on for that point, because there was a couple of chances Woking had, and it hit the post as well, where we could have easily lost that game. I know a lot of people were calling out Jim McNulty, saying, why has he changed the team again? Blah, de blah. For one, we had a lot of injuries, as I've mentioned previously. We obviously have got an eye on the semi-final, and it's stupid not to be honest. Like, it's a semi-final. And we have had a lot of games, so he is going to rotate the team. So stop it. Stop being so negative, because look, there is no reason to be negative. We have got a semi-final on Saturday, and we are 6th in the league. So I just wanted to point that out. It's not a rant, but I wanted to point that out.
I mean, I watched the game as well on Tuesday, and I think the only disappointment for Rochdale would have been they didn't carry on for where they left off in the first half.
Definitely.
Woking were not in the game in the first half at all. And
no.
I think the longer they left it at 1-0, they gave themselves a hope, to be fair. And yeah, again, the penalty, obviously it's one of those you see him giving and that, and Buteman stuck it away. But then again, Joshua Suda, I think they've only just signed from #United. Obviously could have won it for them in the dying seconds. So, it was a big save. Was it even Barrett, was it? And right at the end. And again, there's probably a point in game on the road, because Woking's never been easy, and plus they're fighting for their lives down at the bottom, so they weren't going to go down quietly. So I think they're probably looking and think, look, 4 points in a week is probably a good return, and that's now you starting to get players back, and if they can get to Wembley on Saturday, then that's every right now to go and push on and finish strong this season.
100%. And it's like from a Dale point of view as well, I just feel like our players at the moment, they just look so drained because I think it is obviously catching up with them as well. Another player I just wanted to give credit to, I thought had a fantastic game against Woking, was Conor McBride. It did end up going off quite late. I don't know if it was an injury or it was just precautionary, but yeah, I really did want to give him a mention because I thought he had a cracking game. It was unlucky as well. He could have had a goal. I think that was the first half. I think the keeper saved it. But yeah, National League table. Barnet, no change at the top. They are top of the table on 91 points. York City are second on 80 points. Forest Green Rovers are third on 75 points. Oldham Athletic are fourth on 66 points. FC Halifax Town are fifth on 63 points. Dale are six. Rochdale, that is. Just going all like nicknames now. Rochdale are six on 61 points. I forgot this was actually a podcast and not a chat with my pals. 7 for Gateshead.
Oh, we're not on that level anymore.
No,
we're not pals anymore.
No, I'm saying you are, but I forget sometimes that there's other people actually watching and listening to this. And then in the relegation zone, we have Boston United, who are 21st on 43 points. AFC Fylde are 22nd on 39 points. Maidenhead United are 23rd on 38 points. And relegated and bottom of the National League table, don't smile too much, Ben, are Absolutely United on 19 points. Ramos put, seeing Absolute relegated in red gets better each week. Do you know what? There's actually a few. There's a few teams now, especially in the National League, that do have R's and Reds. And we all felt that late equaliser, I know. I nearly did swear, but I didn't. Hi, hope you're okay. It doesn't look good for Fylde, and thank God for that. Do you know what, right, Luke? I completely agree, but then I think Fylde isn't that too far away from us. And it's one of the more local games. So as much as it would be nice to see them go, it is one of our closest games. Chris has put the 2 catch-up games for Rochdale the next Tuesday away to Sutton and Solihull away on the 29th. I know. Thank you for letting me know, though, Chris, but I do know. Aled has put, so as it stands, we could potentially get a Rochdale versus Oldham playoff final. Yeah, we could. I'm not taking anything for granted, though. There's still a lot more games to go and a lot more teams catching up. We take Fylde in the north again. No, I want them to stay. I do want them to stay. We have an awful record against them. Don't want to torture myself going there again. It's a very nice ground, though, to be fair. It is a really nice ground. Don't want to give them too much credit, though. Ben, do you want to talk your game first?
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you not want to talk about a 4-0, eh? 4-0 club. Oh, wow. Yeah, do you know, that was probably one of the highlights of the season, that. I mean, it's funny because it's on an equivalent, I think it's same weekend, almost to the 2-year anniversary when we got relegated from the National League. And who secured our relegation to the National League? Bournemouth beating us 4-0 at home. So, it's only right that we return the favour. They have done us a few times in the past, quite a few times. So it's about time we owed them one. I thought we were absolutely exceptional. We were. I mean, don't get it wrong, Bournemouth were missing key players. They had a couple of centre-backs missing. Their top scorer, Appiah, wasn't available. But then again, I think it took a bit of time to set down because I think obviously all the eyes were on the 2 ex-Maidstone players, and John Benton and Matt Rush. I mean, couldn't we stop them? Benton, the first time I saw him was when he was getting substituted in the second half. Matt Rush, again, he got into the game first 20 minutes and we sort of, obviously our defenders know him so well. So they nullified his strength straight, after about 20 minutes. And once we got our opening goal, again, another, well-worked set piece, Ben Brooks long throw, Temi Aweka heading on for Salwanjo Smith, who managed to just creep over the line off the underside of the bar and doesn't score many headed goals. Funny his celebrations because the goalkeeper Nathan Ashmore decided to play a little bit of sportsmanship. He did because Josh Hare, unfortunately, one of our ex-players again as well, he picked up a nasty cut to the head. He did, from throwing sort of a high boot. And obviously he was getting treatment on the bench, and they took him off. They knew they needed to stitch him up a little bit. So obviously, as soon as he's gone off and that, we obviously kick the ball out of play to give the ball back to Boreham Wood. What does Nathan Ashmill do? He goes down with an injury. Of course he does, because why would you when you're 0-0 and you want to give them half a chance of not playing with 10 men for very long? So as soon as Wanjo Smith scored the opening goal, he celebrated running off, holding his hamstring, trying to take the mick a little bit. So that's typical of him, to be honest, all for his TikTok, clearly. And then suddenly, not long before half time, he got his second goal. Again, another headed goal. Ashmore maybe a little bit disappointed he didn't keep it out, but it was a cracking cross from Charlie Seaman. And he thought 2-0, that'd be perfect to take into half time, settle the players down. And then 4 minutes into, I think it was not 8 added on. So obviously the gamesmanship didn't work for Nathan Ashmore because we got ourselves a penalty, which, it was, again, watched it a few times. About 2 or 3 of their players are pulling our players, and I don't know what the penalty, who it was given against. I think it was a foul on Temi Aweka. That was my first thought. And then Ben Brooks, Mr. Reliable this season. Wanjo Smith could have had his hat trick, but clearly knew the situation and thought, look, give it to our to our penalty taker, Ben Brooks, no problem, stuck it away brilliantly. And then we're all a bit of a shock at half time. You think you go into it 3-0 against a promotion rival, like Boreham Wood, you think, this doesn't happen. We never have a comfortable lead over them. And second half, managed the game really well, to be fair. Managed to grab our 4th goal. Our podcast favourite, George Fowler, getting another goal this season. I know, he's on fire, the boy, honestly. It was again a lot of credit has to go to Tom Leahy as well for the hold-up play and the setup for the goal, because it was from, again, another long throw. Held it up almost by the byline really well, set it back Fowler, lashed it in. I think we was trying to take the mick out of him in the interview after, saying, you must be going to Craig Fagan now for your for your striking skills now, rather than the gaffer, because he's clearly not doing enough for you at the moment. But yeah, look, I was so pleased because it is a big statement to the league. We've obviously hit some form now. I think that's 3 wins in a row, 10 goals scored, none conceded. The boys are in a good place at the moment. And, you want to. I always say it's not how you start the season, it's how you finish it. And 100%. Look, again, we are in the pack still, and I think that win puts a little bit less pressure on us going into Saturday, because we got a massive game on Saturday away to Western-super-Mare, who are 4 points below us in the league. So again, that could change so quickly for us, because obviously a win for us, I'd like to think that's going to be our playoff place secured, because I can't see them making up 7 points in us with 4 games to go. But Western win, then it opens up again. So basically, if you offer me a 0-0 at this, right now, I will snap your hand off for it, because I will gladly take a point from there. But again, you look at the bigger picture. Think, look, for us to stay in the title race, and I know it's still very much off it, it's probably not like to happen, but for us to stay in the title race going to those last 4 games, we need 2 results to go our way. Obviously, we need to beat Western, and we need Truro City to beat Worthing, because then potentially we could have 4 teams on 80 points on Saturday, leaving us only 4 points off the top. We have 4 games to go. Worthing have still got to play Dorking. They've still got to play Eastbourne. There's still some massive games there. I think Truro have still got to play Torquay as well. That's it. After we play Western, our running there's actually not too bad, because we'll play Welling and Weymouth. Weymouth are all going to be all but relegated, I think, by the time they come to us. Welling still fighting. They are still in there. Again, it's week by week with them. It depends on other results. But yeah, this title race is just getting, ridiculous. And again, a big credit, obviously, when we come to the results, because there was some big, results in there for some of those teams, and Eastbourne will probably feel like they've let an opportunity slip potentially. But yeah, from our perspective, really pleased. We're still in the fight, albeit very slim. But our main focus is get a playoff place. But now looking at it, the aim should be now, can we get a home playoff place? Because I didn't think that was possible a month ago, but now we're in a good position where it's still in the equation. So yeah, delighted, and hopefully we can take that into Saturday, because to be honest, it's actually the first time this season I've thought about a game all week. It hasn't happened this season, but this one I've been thinking about ever since the final whistle went against Boreham Wood. So looking forward to it, I have to say, and again, for you guys, but for you, Shara and Rebecca, it's actually a her game too, dedicated fixture as well for Western-super-Mare. So again, hopefully they'll get a little bit of a better turnout. Again, I mean, I'd like to think it's going to be a good crowd anyway, but back on top of it, hopefully might bring a few more numbers in, hopefully. So obviously I'll let you know, how it goes, because I'd like to see, I don't think I've had a her game to dedicated fixture. I don't know if I've been to one before, because we never tend to have it around our home games or anything like that. So I'll be interested to see sort of how the day plans and what they've got in store for it. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a good occasion.
Oh, love that. I was going to say something. I can't remember what I was just going to say. It's completely gone out of my head.
Sorry, I just waffled on. That's what I let you forget.
Oh, no, it weren't you, Ben. I had something I was going to ask, and it's gone completely out of my head now. But it was to you as well. I wonder if Ben has seen the table for the Southern League Premier Central. 3 points between the top 4 teams.
No, I haven't seen that. No, it's nothing. It could be 0 points in it by the end of Saturday with the top 4 teams. So this is the way it goes. Like it's a huge weekend. I think this is the thing. If Truro can stop Worthing, that's the thing on Saturday. Even get a point there wouldn't be a bad result. Then suddenly it all very much opens up again. I think because like I say, Worthing have got Dorking. Dorking have already sold out their allocation of 600 tickets for that. In the away end, that should be a sellout there. And yeah, do you know what? Even if we're not in that title race, like come the last couple of games and that, I can't wait to see how that pans out because it really is anyone's game now. It is a case of who's going to slip up. And if I always said if Worthing can win the league based on the games they still have left, they more than deserve to win the league because they've got the hardest run out of everyone. So yeah, that's probably it. Really is so unpredictable. You can't make it up every week now.
Danny Cashman as well scoring again. Obviously, it was a penalty, but he's doing very well this season.
Yeah, do you know
another podcast favourite?
I was frustrated because like so long they were holding him at Hampton. I thought about 20 minutes to go. Come on, like if they can get a point there, that'd be massive. But yeah, unfortunately, I expected Hampton to lose that game to us. Their season's done. They want it all over now. To be honest with you, I think they just Alan Julian's is trying to keep spirits high, but I think it's sort of done for them now, really. But they're not gonna go down, so I wouldn't worry about that for them. But yeah, huge results in the league. Obviously, Dorking, I think I would have said Dorking beating Eastbourne any time, is good. But the fact is they had to play the vast majority of that game with 10 men. George Franklin got sent off after they went a goal up. Last man challenge, I think it was. And, playing against Eastbourne the way they do, it was always going to be a tough ask. But Dorking got another goal. I think it was a penalty, I think it might have been. I can't remember. I know they scored one penalty in the game. And then I think it might have been Jason Pryor. But yeah, again, Eastbourne fought back, scored a really good goal actually to bring it back to 2-1, but then they got the third, I think, quite late on. So yeah, Dorking, again, have stayed in that pack. And again, I've just said Eastbourne have probably missed an opportunity there to really close the gap. Again, does that take them out of the title race potentially? Can't really say for sure because they've still got to play a couple of those games around each other. But yeah, and I think Torquay as well got a very late goal at Aveley. I think we've probably a couple of a couple of minutes to go there. So they're keeping the pressure on. And again, I think Torquay will probably feel the most favourable out of everyone because they've probably got the best running out of everyone. Like Truro is their only difficult game. The running's actually been quite kind to them. So yeah, again, it's so tough still. But then Western, to be fair, got to give them some credit because I don't know if anyone saw the fourth goal they scored against Hornchurch. Luke Coulson scoring a hat-trick. What way to score your hat-trick? Scoring from your own penalty area. Goalkeeper came up. He's literally hoofed it away. And that's the slowest goal I've ever seen in my life. The ball's just rolling and rolling all the way to the end of the line. And again, that's a huge result because it's been hard to go to Hornchurch recently. Worthing lost it the other week. We dropped points there not long ago. So for them to get a win there at Hornchurch, and that pitch, that's a very good 3 points to them. Scott Bartlett's side, I know are going to be tough for us on Saturday, and that's the thing. And I'm a bit more worried about it now. They've picked up a result like that. But yeah, certainly the goal of the National South.
Ben, you've committed the cardinal sin now, though, mate.
Have I?
Hornchurch. What happens in Hornchurch stays in Hornchurch.
I know.
No, I know what happens at Hornchurch. No, I just don't want to go there next season, to be honest with you.
Subject goalkeeping error and all that stuff.
No, I know. Honestly, what are you doing coming up for a corner last minute? Are you thinking no one's going to score from there? I mean,
why is the Horn? What I can't understand about, as I've seen it as well, why is the Hornchurch goalkeeper come up? Like Hornchurch aren't going to get in the playoffs. They're not going to go down. Why is he actually doing it for? Stay back.
I guess the thing is though, I guess for teams like that, which I'm going to find a little bit towards the end of the season, is the teams that have nothing to play for are probably going to be the hardest to beat because they want to spoil someone's season, and that's clearly what Hornchurch looked at. Because that's the thing. If they've managed to get a late equaliser, I would have felt so relaxed about Saturday. But now it's just a little bit on edge. It is. But yeah, they'll be looking as an opportunity. Home game in front of their crowd. We found it difficult when we went there last year, so it'll be interesting to see how the boys cope with the occasion on that one. But also, yeah, just quickly as well, just looking at the bottom of the table as well. Salisbury getting a huge win against Tunbridge, just to pull them away from it a little bit. It gives them a little bit of a gap now with 5 games to go. St Albans, they're starting to find a couple of results now. And again, I thought they were down probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but they've managed to pull a couple of big wins out of the bag in recent times. So they're now 3 points below Enfield. And believe it or not, those two have still got to play each other as well. So that could be the real, relegation decider about, who goes down. And from my perspective, I would like to see St Albans stay up because it's a lovely ground, and they're a good club there. I'm not saying that it's taking anything away from Enfield, but because they've done remarkable to even get in this situation. But I would love to see St Albans stay up because it's a lovely ground, good people at that club. They've always looked after us there, and be a shame to see them go down. So they're a big club in that league with good support base. So yeah, it's still all to play for with 5 games to go. Really, that table is going to change so much now in the next few weeks. I'll be changing conversation most of the time because we won't be saying the same thing every week. I'll tell you that.
This really, really made me laugh, Luke. Because so obviously there's a lot of chat going on, and I think everyone's trying to outdo themselves tonight and outdo each other by trying to be the quickest. Obviously, say about the Chelsea-Tottenham game. And Luke's just like, is this a video printer or something? He's just like, I love Luke, bless him. That made me laugh. One thing I did want to point out, though, Anne, you've actually picked a team in a different league. That's not near the bottom. Mid-table.
I know. I've just been typing in our little private chat there that I'm going to change from Hornchurch next year to Chippenham because it reminds us of chips and ham.
Oh, yes.
Just need a bit of egg in there and we'll rock and roll.
I love ham, egg and chips and butter.
A little bit of butter. Yeah.
Butter. Oh, I've completely
I thought you were about to skip the table. Oh, no.
I've had enough time now, Ben. I'm joking. But yes, National League South table. And as you mentioned, it's very exciting, forever changing. And yeah, what a league. So top of the table, we have Worthing on 80 points. Dorking Wanderers are second on 77 points. Truro City are third on 77 points. Torquay United are fourth on 77 points. Eastbourne Borough are fifth on 75 points. Maidstone United are sixth on 73 points. Boreham Wood are seventh on 71 points. And then in the relegation zone, in 21st, we have St Albans City on 40 points. Welling United are 22nd on 36 points. Weymouth are 23rd on 31 points. And as everybody can see who is watching, Averley are in red now. They have officially been relegated and they have 25 points.
I'm not saying nothing. I'm saying what I need to say.
I was waiting. That's why I went quiet. I was like, Ben's going to say something now.
No, I don't want to rub it in too much now because for all I know, we get promoted and that'll be us next year. So I ain't going to say
anything. But yeah, finally we were on National League North. I got a bit carried away then, didn't I? A bit carried away. Any standouts on here for you, Ben?
Do you know what? I think it's
sorry.
I was going to say Chorley, to be fair, over Spennymoor because Spennymoor was the blistering form they've been in, to come crashing back down to earth like that. I think Chris has already summed it up in his match report, as I can see coming through. Look, they're still not a million miles off the playoffs. They're still, they've still got every chance of it, but that would hit them hard. And it's a case now, do they respond to that now and not let their season peter out? But I think I would probably look at that maybe as a standout potentially. But again, Oxford City, they've I think if I'm right in saying now, they've confirmed their safety now in the division, which was probably unthinkable for them about a month ago. I think they said they were in relegation zone about 18 days ago, and now they've survived. So, look, that's a credit to Ross Jenkins, going back in there and changing it there and keeping a club like that from going down in successive relegations, because it's very easy to do that after, what happened last year in the National League. They weren't expected to stay up, but you do fear for them that they might have dropped out, but to have kept their place, it gives them a chance now to build on next year. And against a Ratcliffe side as well, that's right near the bottom with them as well. So again, Ratcliffe aren't that far off from surviving themselves, but they probably still need another 4 points maybe from somewhere to maybe just about keep it, because I can't see Needham Market making up the the total on it. Sorry, Ant.
I agree. Got to win your home games, haven't you, around there now? They haven't done it.
Graham!
He's probably got so sassy recently, hasn't he?
I love it. I'm loving this new Graham. I love the sass.
Oh,
I'm loving it.
God.
I'm loving it. I like a bit of sass, as you all know. But yeah. Chris
Nice
has put...
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, go for it.
No, come on, Ben. You're all right.
I was just going to say, good. Also nice for Russell to win because they've had it tough as well. Albeit they're inevitably going to go down, but get a win against South Shields and that might have been a little morale booster for them, but they're going down, so not too much to say on that really.
They've seemed to have changed the form around since Johnny got a job there, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I mean, fair play to him. Fair play. That's probably why we've not really seen. He's a busy man now. He's a busy man. He's moved on to bigger and better things than this podcast on a Thursday night. But yeah, I have got Chris's match report. He has put Charlie away. Worst day ever. Came away from Charlie, soaking cold and a 4-0 thrashing. Never do well at Charlie, and it showed today. Second to every ball, terrible defending for all 4 goals. I think this was at you as well, Ant, for when you sneezed. Graham has put, bless you. We have as well. Aled has put congratulations and Marine confirmed staying up in the North and on their first ever season in the Vanarama North. Congratulations to them. Chris has put the same. Great stuff for Marine. And yeah, unfortunately, we will get to this when we see the table, but we do have another relegated team. And it's so sad for them, obviously, with the circumstances going on. The moment, so sad.
No, I think they'll be better for it, though. That's the thing. I think 100%. They knew they needed to go down, and hopefully their off-field issues get sorted out over the summer because they need to. Otherwise, you can only see them slipping down from the Northern Premier League as well. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Like say, owner needs to get out. Fans need to get back inside the stadium. That's the thing because the fact they play away from home all season is just ridiculous. Because of some pitch and everything like that as well.
Who would you support if you couldn't support Bournemouth?
Well, I could hear something in the background there.
What was that? Is that you, Kieran?
What? my mic was on mute the whole time. I opened up fucking TikTok to have a look at my analytics, and then this guy was like, "Who could you support if you couldn't support Bournemouth?" And this one,
that's what we heard.
This one bloke responded, "Manchester United," and I was like, "What?" Manchester United from Bournemouth.
I like how you were looking at your TikTok to see how many views you got.
I did try. I do. Listen, all right, as a man,
do that a lot.
As a man that I kind of has decided that he's going to try and take this whole time. Kind of got to do it now, unfortunately.
One thing as well. I think we touched on it. Was it last week? But we welcome a new team into the National League North side through Robbie Savage's Macclesfield. Robbie.
Have you seen the team they've got?
Yeah.
That team's too good for the Northern League.
They have, but do you know what? I'm really glad to see them back on the rise now because,
same.
I got a lot of time for Macclesfield actually. When we've had some good battles against them. When we were back in the National League and everything. One of our best away performances I can remember was beating them when they were top of the league 4-1 away from home. So I would love to go back to Moss Rose in the future because it's a lovely, old school ground. I know they've done it up a little bit. And obviously they've got the 3G there now as well, so it'll be on. But yeah, look, I know, they've got the big budget and everything. They were expected to, trounce that league, but Robbie Savage has put his money where his mouth is. That's the thing, he's backed it up. Obviously going as manager because he would have been under huge pressure to get him up this year. But no, that'll be a welcome return for them back to the National North because they're nearly back to where they should be, which is at least becoming a National League club. So hopefully they can maybe go through it again next year and give themselves more success.
Completely agree. I love Macclesfield. I used to love going Macclesfield away as well. One of my favourite grounds because it was proper old school.
Yeah.
Old school ground. Chris has obviously sent his Spenny Moore Town reporting. It's a long one again, guys. So, Spennymoor Town 2, Warrington 0. Warrington at home got back to winning ways. Both goals were scored in the first half. Shrimpton scored after a deflection off a Warrington player's foot. Found a net on its, is that 6th minute? Yep. And then he put Van Routledge getting the second goal on the 25th minute. Warrington caused a few problems in the second half, but our new lonely goalkeeper kept a clean sheet. And then Luke's put Aidan Routledge, baby. No, it doesn't sound right. It's Devante Rodney, baby. Sorry. That's the song we sing, so I'm sorry, it doesn't sound right. Ella just put, my recent message would have been completely out of context if Ashton message was shown now.
Oh, Needham, fucking hell. Lost
I know.
again. Oh, God alive.
Graham's put is saying nothing this week. I think this was in reference to the long ones. Because Graham's been lowering the tone recently. And
I expect nothing less. Expect nothing less.
Oh,
you've got...
bloody Tottenham.
Oh, you're bottling it, Ben. You're bottling it.
No, it's another goalkeeping error as well, as it always is with freaking Sanchez.
He was our ex-goalkeeper. He used to play for us.
I don't want him anymore.
I'm pretty sure. Was it him who was in our relegation season? It might not have been him. It might have been Bazunu, actually. Who we had.
In
our relegation from League
You've
One.
had a bunch of really good keepers, haven't you? Let's be fair.
I know.
Oh, that's disgusting, Riff. That's got to be a free kick. Sorry, he's going to be VAR check.
I mean, the best we've had is fucking Tom King, and he's like third choice keeper for Wolves and just doesn't play a minute.
Calm down, Luke. It's not my fault I can't speak.
It's still not.
Sassy.
It's still not a good song, was it? Aidan Routledge.
It doesn't even. It doesn't fit really, does it?
No.
When you've got Devante Rodney, baby.
That works. There we are.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nathan Teller, baby, always felt just right. I miss him.
Does he still play for Leverkusen?
He does. Well, he's still contracted, whether he plays or not.
I was about to say.
Graham, shots fired at me from all angles tonight. Sean said he can't speak. I'm guessing that is.
I can't speak.
Can't speak.
That's he can't speak.
That's the most amazing leg of darts you'll ever watch. Something like that. I don't remember the exact clip.
And Graham thinks the Spurs goal will be disallowed. There you go, Ben.
Ben does not look happy. He is looking at this one.
I'm just anxious. Just anxious. I don't want to drop points again. Do not want to drop points to Spurs.
So,
just on Chelsea like that.
Yeah, he does.
Chelsea, my Premier League team. Yeah, they always have been.
How many football teams have you got?
I only need two. You have one that gives you the glamour of football and everything like that. At the elite level. Then you have your main team. So I know where my heart lies. Don't worry. I don't betray the Maidstone boys.
Maidstone are doing well, so who cares about that?
Exactly. Yeah, rather be them than Chelsea.
Who cares about Chelsea nowadays? However, I've got a few Chelsea players in my FPL. So that being said, I can't stand them, and I think they should fold. they have ruined my FPL experience. And to be honest with you, I only got back into it last week after about 18 weeks of not touching them.
Ben's nearly catching me with the amount of teams.
I know.
God, see,
Ben, do you want to come support Dundee as well, man?
Yeah, you just need a Scottish Prem team when you're done then.
You can have Dundee as well.
I would have one of the Scottish teams. One of our ex-players went to, Lamar Reynolds, but I can't remember who he's gone to now, to be honest. I think he played in the Scottish Championship. Can't remember. Not my head. I would say them otherwise.
In the chat, just looking at the table, Ella just put, I will read it out in a second as well. In football, I'm never comfortable with a 1-goal difference. I think Warrington will go down this weekend if we don't win away at Curzon Ashton. And Johnny has told me what he's wearing. He's put, "Shat, I'm wearing my blue Rochdale jersey today." Lovely. I love the support. Thank you. I hope you'll be wearing it as well on Saturday.
Sorry.
Hey, bullshit from Johnny.
National League North table. So top of the table, I need to he'll be wearing the red one on Saturday. Scunthorpe United are top of the National League North table and 81 points. Kidderminster are second on 79 points. I'm sorry. Brackley Town are third on 77 points. Chester are fourth on 74 points. And you make me laugh. Chorley are fifth on 71 points. Curzon Ashton are sixth on 69 points. Hereford as well are seventh, also on 69 points. I need to prepare myself now because I don't want to be laughing when I'm talking about relegation zone. And in relegation, I know, in 21st, we have Needham Market on 36 points. Rushall Olympic. Rushall Olympic are 22nd. I'm so sorry, everyone. I've got the giggles now. On 34 points. Warrington Town are 23rd on 30 points. And unfortunately, it's so sad to say, but as you did mention, Ben, I think it will be better off, hopefully, for them. They can kind of build themselves back up. Oh, it's Barnsley Celtic on 26 points. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm just going to pot now. I'm going to pot. I don't know what is going on. Luke has put hope Scunthorpe go up. I do too, to be fair.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Chris has put, according to Spending More Fans Group, we've sold 844 tickets for the trophies game. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm very nervous.
For a treat for the fish shop.
You are. Graham has put, at least he's not asleep in it. Alan has put, all Scunny and Kidder. And he's also put, let Chester stay down. Right, so we have the championship now. Who wants to start? Anne, Dan, take your pick.
Go on, Anne.
Well, we both won 1-0, so I go on then. I'll start us off. We won 1-0. That's a pretty much. Wasn't much about the game. To be fair, like obviously Millwall, our ex-boss Alex Neil coming up, and with Millwall, you're quite used to them coming and shithousing and all that stuff. They didn't actually do it. We didn't let them. They had like Aaron Connolly starting up front, who used to play for us. Never barely touched the ball. To be fair, we did a really good job defensively, which we haven't been doing lately. Really good clean sheet. Trey Hume getting a goal after a really well worked set piece. And he was out of position. He was playing left back because we had to have Alan Brown right back because we don't have any fit left backs now. Dropping like flies. He had to go left back. Alan Brown coming right back. He took the goal well. Really nice cross from a corner. He hits it on like left foot volley. Really nice goal. It was a strange game because like Millwall weren't really, they were dominating without really, like, I think Dan's left the iron on. Oh, there he goes, back. And they kind of dominated without doing anything. And we were just, like, trying, we were just going through the motions. I think what we're doing is going through, like, a mini pre-season now, because we're obviously not going to go up automatically, but we're also not going to draw out the playoffs. So I think what he's doing is he's trying to give certain players a chance. Because obviously we're going to need all the squad for the playoffs for the rest of the season. But yeah, nice, like I say, a nice win. There was a slight blot on the copybook when Romain Mundo went down, won a penalty. He wanted to take it, but I think Luke O'Nien was assigned the penalty taker, and as been the norm with us this season, he missed. So Romain Mundo, to be honest, I think. He was being a little bit unprofessional, like kind of threw the toys out the pram, and he went off, at full time and not clapping the fans, which I thought was a bit shit. Apart from that, obviously, the big news this week, Sunderland is we've sold Tommy Watson to Brighton for 10 million quid. And bear in mind, Tommy Watson's played 5 games this season, or 8 games, started 5. And apparently he's engineered the move. He said he wanted to move. He's got to Brighton, 10 million quid. I think that's crap money for us. He's going to stay with us till the end of the season. For me, I'm probably not playing him anymore. I'm definitely not starting him. I'd rather give another young lad a chance, to be honest. But I'd back to winning ways. Like I say, it's pretty much us in the playoffs. Bring it on. Hard game on Saturday because we've got West Brom who are also in the playoffs, and we've got Norwich who kind of turned it around again, and they're like kind of battling for the playoffs. So it's gonna be interesting because it's kind of pardon me, it's kind of, yes, we're like, we would like to win, but it's just kind of it's kind of like the Green Day song, Wake Me Up When September Ends. For me, it's Wake Me Up When the Playoffs Start. Because I'm just like, it's just going through the motions now, you know what I mean? Because we're just going nowhere. So we're going to finish 4th, I think, because I think used to be too far ahead. And then to whoever we're playing, if it's Coventry, fair enough. If it's West Brom or Borough or whoever, I'm like I say, I'm more than comfortable with anyone in the playoffs that we can beat them over 2 games. So it is what it is. So that's me done. Dan, would you like to talk about Burnley?
Please do.
Yeah, pretty dominant first 45 minutes. Should have gone in 3-4-0 up, which was, I think we played exceptionally well, especially after the way Bristol City I think they were unbeaten in 6 away from home at the time. And I think they're unbeaten in 8 in all matches, to be quite honest. So to actually get something from them, but it had to take a sublime free kick from Zian Fleming. Not that I was expecting it. I was hoping and praying that we didn't give Scott Twine a chance at a free kick in a dangerous area after we know what he can do. But we managed to hold out, and like I said, we had no Scott Parker in the dugout. He was had his red card from the West Brom game, I think, where he got sent off. I just think Jadon Anthony, I feel a little bit frustrated because for all the effort he's put in this year, deserved at minimum a hat-trick, and unfortunately didn't manage to get himself on the score sheet. But we're at that point now where we can't afford to lose a game. We really can't. If we want to consider ourselves in that top 2 bracket, we cannot afford to lose anymore. So, we've got a tough game coming up on Saturday away at Coventry. Coventry have only lost 1 at the CBS under Lampard. So again, it's going to make for an interesting fixture. They're going to have a point to prove as well with the loss against Sheffield United. The way they rolled over, I was really disappointed in that. But for us, the way I'm already looking towards the third game from the end of the season. Easter Monday, Burnley versus Sheffield United at Turf Moor. That could be a big decider. And I can't have 2 Yorkshire teams going up. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's no. Somebody from Lancashire's got to go up. So yeah, I just fingers crossed we can do it. But I think it's going to be a very tough game. Come Saturday, Lampard and Parker, former teammates. It should make for an interesting encounter. But that Bristol City game, we were on it. We had to be, and it was made sweeter by obviously Swansea and their last minute shenanigans at Ellen Road. Loved it.
Melly again.
Have you not seen what Farker's come out and said?
He's dropped him, hasn't he?
He's dropped him, hasn't he?
He's dropped him, yeah. He's already said, I've already let Carl Darlow know from the start of this week, he's in on Saturday, and it's like, why are you celebrating? To be fair, Kieran, you've not got much to celebrate, so why not enjoy it?
Because he is somehow, some way, he's a Welsh international. I don't know how, but he is. So actually seeing a Welsh goalkeeper get some game time who's not 38 and named Dwayne Hennessy is quite good news.
I think we need to have a birds and the bees talk then, Kieran, if you don't know how he's Welsh, because I think it must have something to do with his mum and dad being from Wales.
I'm pretty certain, actually. I'm pretty
He's
certain,
not
actually.
Isn't he, Carl Darlow? He's not Welsh, is he?
I'm pretty certain it's grandparents. But
to
be fair, 99% of the Welsh squad aren't bloody Welsh. They've just got grandparents who are Welsh.
Disappointed in Sean for this comment, anyway.
No need for that, Sean. No need for that.
Who would he rather go up than a North East team?
South Shields are too far down the pyramid.
It's put a lot of pressure on Darlow, that hasn't it? Though, like, he's come out and said it like 2 days before. Personally, I wouldn't have done that. I would have said, "Oh, I'm keep my cards close to my chest, this, that, and the other." And then, like, Leeds have got Luton, haven't they? They've got Luton on Saturday. So all Luton are going to do is be like, "Well, we'll go through all of the footage of when Carl Darlow's played for Leeds and look at his weaknesses. Like, is he weak on crosses, weak on whatever?" Then they're just going to pepper them in there. So I think it's weird that. Like, I would have
and
said,
it's a tough game for as well. Luton have got something to fight for themselves as well as Leeds. Yeah. So it's really horrible time at this time of the season.
You would have thought he would have said, "Look, I'm like, I've made my decision yet, or whatever. I've made my decision, but you'll find out on Saturday." You don't just go, "Yeah, Carl Darlow's going to go," because then he's immediately then just saying to Mellier, "Well, yeah, you have fucked up," which obviously, yeah, he has, but then you kind of need to get behind him, don't you? Because he's obviously one of them goalkeepers who just needs a pat on the back sometimes. He can be one of the best goalkeepers in the league, and then equally one of the worst. So it's one of them things.
It almost reminds me of when the Championship season under Company, when Muric were getting a lot of stick because we were playing out from the back, the mistakes he was making. I think we were 3-0 up against Blackpool, and we ended up drawing the game 3-3 due to silly mistakes, coming from the back. And come the end of that season, one of the most standout keepers of that Championship season. So it's all, you've got to find that balance in man management, haven't you, of installing the confidence, but also, being able to put your arm around you and say, "Look, do you understand that we've got a job to do? And unfortunately, I'm going to have to pick what I think needs to change, because tactically, from the team perspective, the team's doing the job, but everything that comes at you just goes through you."
Mm-hmm.
It's tough.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's the worst place in the it's the most lonely place in the world, isn't it, being a goalkeeper? Because if you make a mistake, that's pretty much
gets it.
But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I mean, I think you'll get something on Saturday. I've got to be honest. I really do. I think it'll be commentary. I think
it's 1-0 either way. 1-0 either way. Yeah. I think they'd snap your hand off for a point. I think they would definitely snap our hand off for a point. But we can't be looking at points anymore. We've had too many 0-0s this season. We've only lost 2 all season, so we've got to be quietly confident. But again, I think there's a pressure on you now. It's that business end. The pressure can sometimes get a hold of you. Yeah. And fingers crossed. It sounds Sunday League, but don't play the occasion, play the game.
Sounding like Steve Bracknell now.
Yeah. When you're 1-0 down, come on, boys, it's still 0-0.
Just before we quickly look at the other results, there is a little bit of chat. So Johnny's put, "Sorry, Ben, we just had to destroy your beloved Frank team on Friday. Happy with the result. Played well and scrappy goal to concede, but happy to be top of the table."
Yeah, and tell you what, like we've all said all season, I've said this as well, that Sheffield United have been up there, and I didn't know how because they hadn't played well. On Friday night, they were absolutely outstanding. I thought Coventry were terrible, but I thought they were out in another way. They were outstanding, and they're getting players now who was like Ryan. They're getting a form out of Ryan Brewster. You know what I mean? Like there's so many teams who are wanting to do that. You know what I mean? And now
the one plus I've got for Saturday as well, the one is that apparently, according to this Coventry podcast, is that Radoni's out.
Yeah, and the keeper's out, isn't he? Keeper's out for the season, isn't he?
Yeah. So that could be massive for us. Absolutely massive.
Yeah.
We've got Aled Dan must be annoyed by Sheffield United, like us Wrexham fans are annoyed by Wycombe Wanderers.
They just seem to be there all the time. I didn't actually think they'd do well this year. I thought even calling Wilder back was a very, 50-50 choice whether it would work. Calling him back to try and do what they had to do was interesting, but trusting him to do a rebuild job was something else. Don't get me wrong, Cooper he's brought in from Plymouth. What a signing, by the way. Definitely. If I didn't have claret tinted glasses on, Cooper's up there for keeper of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, he's actually done quite a decent job. I just don't like Wilder. He whinges too much.
Simon has put, as Cov fans said, we'd be happy with 3 points from the Sunderland, Sheffield United and Burnley games, and we got them from Sunderland, so this Sheffield United game was effectively a free hit.
So's the Burnley game.
Take Simon task on that, because and I'll beat us, fair enough, you know what I mean? But so they're basically saying that they're happy to lose to Sheffield United and happy to lose to Burnley on Saturday. But they lost on Saturday, and only because West Brom didn't win. Obviously, Bristol City didn't win. They could have dropped out the playoffs on Saturday. So if they lose this Saturday, same thing. They can drop out the playoffs. So I really don't agree with that. Can't just look at 3 games against top 3. We'll be happy with 3. And any chance if you're in the playoffs, you've got to be looking 5 at least. You know what I mean? You've got to be looking at 2 wins out of them, especially when 2 of them are at home. You've got to be looking at 2 wins. So I do disagree with that, because that'll drop form off. That drops form off, doesn't it? Like if you're losing two games in a row they've lost, the pressure's immediately back on them again, and they've done so well. Yeah. I don't agree with that at all.
It's the last game of the season that worries me. Like I know I think we're at home to Millwall, but the last day of the season, Sheffield United play Blackburn, and if they think we just chuck this game, because Sheffield United can get the point. If they're already a point ahead of something, they could just go, we'll chuck the game. We don't want Burnley going up. So
and I don't know. Think, and I've said it a couple of times now, I think in the playoffs, because this is so tight now, and you've got obviously you've done so well, Sheffield United done so well, Leeds have done so well. Leeds are the ones that are looking like they're going to be ones falling off, but then they've got probably the easiest running out the 3. But then you're thinking whoever gets third has got a monumental task to lift the team up for the playoffs, haven't they? Like, because it's going to go final game, innit? It's going to go probably the final, right? At least the final couple of games, and to try and then build yourself against, because obviously that team plays 6th. That could be a Coventry, a Bristol, a Borough, or Norwich if they come out the clouds. It's the worst position to finish in. Hence why not many teams have finished 3rd go up, because it's just building it back up again.
I don't even think anybody in the top 6 squads capable of performing in the Premier League either, and I put Burnley in that bracket. I don't think any of the squads in that top 6 are good enough. There's going to have to be major investment in every single squad in that top 6 if they are to become a Premier League team. But we'll see. It makes for interesting reading in the playoffs and the top 3. It's always nice when it comes down to the dying games, and there's always something to still watch. It's not already wrapped up.
Just have a few questions in the chat before we look at the results. Chris has put, and is 4th place nailed on fully now, 9 points behind 3rd place and 23 points ahead of 5th.
Is it 23? It's not 23 points. Is it?
Let's have a look.
No, it's 13.
I was going to say,
It's Mr. Digit. I just said before, we're not going to win. We've got too much of a hard run to win 7 games in a row, and even that I don't think is good enough, because I think your Sheffield United, your Leeds, and your Burnley are just they're the 3 teams who've been, and I've said it like all season. The top 4 teams across the whole season, though we've had a fall off, have comfortably been the best 4 teams in this league, comfortably, and they're there on merit. All 4 of them, they've been absolutely outstanding. I think, like I said before, I don't think we're consistent enough to have mounted a full challenge. And I'll say it before and I'll say it again, I'm happy against anyone in the playoffs. And I was saying that Coventry have took 4 points off us. West Brom are a hard team. Even Borough, it's a local derby, Bristol City or whatever. I'm still fully confident. And then if it goes to Wembley, on a big pitch like that, I just think we're the best footballing team. And you've got to remember as well, we've got Enzo the Fair to come back. We've got Dennis Circa to come back. They'll all be back before the end of the season. I mean, Enzo the Fair will be a huge, news change until the end of the season. He's back on Saturday. So I think we're keeping Kieran away. Look at the state of him. Too many.
Look at the state of him. I love that.
I'm so bloody tired. I am.
I didn't realise.
Bloody knackered, man. I'm sad here listening to you not having a conversation. It's like I'm genuinely sad here. I've not listened to a fantastic podcast. I'm just enjoying the ride.
Oh my God.
Gino over here. I just want to just listen and enjoy.
Yeah, and
what an achievement by Coventry, though. Look at the goal difference. Look at the goal difference on Coventry. That's something to be in and where they are is a remarkable achievement for Frank Lampard and what he's done.
Which as well as kind of takes us back to what I was saying before, and I wasn't meaning to call Simon out or whatever, but I think I'm saying the 3 points from those 3 games, so 3 points of possible 9 was quite of a silly thing to say, because that there, you look at, see if it's a draw on Saturday, we get beat off West Brom and Borough beats, I can't remember their playing, then Coventry are out the playoffs. You know what I mean? You can't be thinking that. You can't be thinking. I'd be gutted if I'd got, even if, we've got Leeds. If we played Leeds, Burnley, Sheffield United in 3 goals, and I think we did it. I think we played definitely played 2 out of 3. And I was devastated that we lost. We lost them both. I was devastated. You know what I mean? When you're up there, you need to be winning at least 2 out of 3, haven't you? You can afford the draw. But especially now when the season's coming to an end, you've got to play the form. You've got to go into form. You've got to go into playoffs in form. Otherwise, you're just going to fall away.
Just quickly going back to the chat. Kyle has put obviously the results. The City result was expected on Saturday, to be honest. Obviously, that's the Bristol City one.
Yeah.
This is something I did want to touch on as well. Did anybody else hear the news about Sheffield Wednesday? Obviously,
I was talking to my uncle about it today. With him being a Wednesday, he used to write all the fanzines for him and things back in the day, and even he said that it's become more of a, with Chansiri, it's become a PR stunt. It's more of a focus on his self-image, getting the word Chansiri written all over everything, and not based around the football. Even he said, no, it's time to sell up, but he's looking to get back what he's put in, and you're not going to get that. He's not just going to have to buy the football club; he's going to have to buy the stadium, because that's separate now as well. So you're looking at an 100 million investment from somewhere. The only thing I would say is Sheffield Wednesday are in a stable position for investment. In my opinion, I think they're an old giant, a sleeping giant of football. And I've always had a soft spot for them. I just think now's the time. I know obviously we've had the situation with Reading and what they're going through, but this shouldn't be happening in football. No matter what division you're in, it should not be happening in football. How these people manage to pass checks and then all of a sudden it goes AWOL. It really baffles me. And then it's the clubs and the fans that get hit the most, and it's not right.
And you really fear for them, don't you, at the end of the season, because obviously if Southampton are going to go down, if Southampton come down, they're obviously wanting Danny Roll, and it's a 2 million buyout clause. And for me, the glue that sticks Sheffield together is Danny Roll. So if
he will be a Premier League manager, I think Danny Roll will be a Premier League manager at one point. He's got all the tactical noir. He speaks a good game. I think he'll be an absolute brilliant Premier League manager one day. But
yeah, I agree.
How close Sheffield Wednesday have been over the years. I mean, Carvajal's had him in the playoffs. Danny Roll. If form suited them pretty well, they could have been in and around this season. I don't even think they're that far away from the playoffs.
They were 4 points off, I think, in January, and I think they've had a since then. But they're only 5 points?
5 points.
Yeah, 5 points. Yeah.
So is it? You know what I mean?
No, not at all. But I just think that with all the situation, the players need to think more. The players have got they've got lives. football is, their bread and butter, and it's what they're paid to do. Unless you're at Sheffield Wednesday, sorry, then you're playing for free. But it's, they've got lives outside of football. They've got mouths to feed. Just like us when we go out to work, we've got to put food on the table. We've got to put clothes on our back. That's what they need to do. And as much as it's 10 times more, if not 100 times more than probably what I'm getting, then it's still something, and people still need to be paid. And Jen's hit it there, fit and proper. What fit and proper test? Although good news coming out of the Championship this season is Venky's out wishing to sell Blackburn, so let's see the turmoil continue. Get in.
Just a couple more questions as well. Sorry, we'll go to Simon first. Actually, his comment is put. Of course, we want the playoffs, but it won't be the end of the world for our fans if we don't, considering where we were when Lampard came in.
Again, though, you're in them now. I just, like I said, it's I'll put a lid on it now. I just didn't agree with it.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you, though, Simon, because you've got the playoffs now. So embrace it. Go for it. Because next season could be totally different. Those teams that you've got 3 other teams coming down from the Premier League that may try and give it another crack. So you've got to try and push yourself. Don't get me wrong, you can look at it and think Coventry, another season in the Championship's not going to do any harm. But when there's other teams around you that are going to say, right, well, we've just come down, we're going to lose a lot of players. Radoni's had a good season at Coventry, we'll take him. And the next minute, you ain't got a pot to fish in, and you don't know where to look, what to do, and you're mid-table. So while you're there, go for it.
Yeah, and you've also got to worry about the teams coming up. You look at Birmingham. Are they going to? They might throw money at it, and they've already have thrown money at it. I don't think Wrexham would be too much to worry about, but they're capable of throwing money. I just think the problem with Wrexham is they'll need a brand new team. Because I don't think any of their players are good enough for the Championship. They're still League 2 quality, aren't they? You know what I mean? Like your Stephen Fletcher's in this world, and Jay Rodriguez isn't going to pull up much trees anymore, is he? No offense, because I know you love him, but he's not.
No, he's not. Definitely not.
But you've got Birmingham, who have got a £20 million striker. You know what I mean? Who if they paid that for someone in League 1, what they're going to do when they're in the Championship if the owners just say, right, we're going for it. And I agree with you. Sorry, and I agree with Dan there about the 3 teams coming down are all well equipped with money to go up again. You know what I mean? You're Ipswich. You watched Ipswich just against Bournemouth, and the quality of goals they scored. It's like they'll tear any Championship team apart if they keep Delap or if they keep Jack Clark, this, that, and the other. So yeah.
Just out of curiosity as well, while we are talking about obviously the teams who are looking likely to come up. Out of curiosity, how well do you think this current Birmingham side could do in the Championship?
Mid-table.
Yeah.
Mid-table. But
the attacking intent's there, but it needs everything else.
Yeah.
You could be like a Burnley under Eddie Howe, where we score 5, or you score 4, we score 5. It's going to be a case of defensively the floodgates will be open, but up front you'll be scoring for fun. So, you've got to find a balance. And I think Birmingham will struggle.
We're talking about Birmingham with their current squad. Like you mentioned earlier, they spent £20 million on a striker in League 1. What do you think their ambitions are going to be in the summer? You'd imagine they'll be absolutely rocket high in comparison to League 1's. The fact we're saying that at the minute, we're saying no new additions and all that stuff, and they're still finishing mid-table. They could very well, if they throw enough money about, charge towards that promotion again. There's no reason that they can't. So it's almost going back around to the Coventry thing. And
the one team I fear for next season, I'd probably say is Leicester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they are going to get massively hit with points deductions because the EFL can't wait for them to come down and smack them on the bum. So that'll be interesting. I think they'll very struggle.
Agent squad as well on that.
Yeah.
They're an agent squad, but they still got some alright players, haven't they?
Yeah.
And even then, you maybe even say some of them get tapped up. So Yeah, they're going to probably be a bare bones next season. Almost circling back to the Coventry thing, that's what Ben said earlier. It's not about how you start the season off, it's about how you end it. And like you mentioned, Coventry are currently in the playoffs, and that would have probably been their ambition at the start of the season at very bare minimum. So, your expectation should have probably been to be in them, and you are. So, no reason why you can't stay in them.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. Yeah, really do. Like, if we all said at the start of the year, I think a couple of us had Coventry playoff sides. Definitely had to have a much better season than what they did. And obviously had the FA Cup last year, which kind of took them away from the playoffs and possibly cost them a playoff place because they were doing so well. And then, yes, they've had an issue with Robbins and have had all that, but what you can't take away is that side is still a very, very good Championship side. You know what I mean? It's took Frank Lampard to come in, and I'm not taking anything away from Frank Lampard. He's done a fantastic job. But for me, it's expectations to see Coventry in there. And I still said when they were struggling, I say this every year because the start of the season's off every year like this. I always say, do not rule them out because it's just one of these sides who wants to go on a roll, to go on one. Personally, I mean, I'd say that I technically, because we've just got such a bad record against them, I would rather play someone else in the playoffs, but I'm not worried, even though they absolutely stuffed us down there. I'm still not that worried about it. You know what I mean? But there you go. We've spent a long time on the Championship. Let's move on.
Simon has asked as well, Leicester, do you think they'll do a Luton?
Yes.
Very well could do. Very similar.
If they stick with Ruud van Nistelrooy, potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
They've been in League One before as well. I remember years ago they got relegated to the third division.
Yeah.
That was it when Stoke got promoted as well. So, it wouldn't surprise me, but they need to invest heavily.
They stick with Ruud van Nistelrooy. They're going on a bloody national, not a national league tour. Bloody hell! They get maybe the points deductions will be that bad. No, they're going on a League One tour in 2 years' time if they stick with Ruud van Nistelrooy. You don't have a clue.
And the bother is,
they might end up staying up yet. We don't know what's happening with Manchester City and their 115 charges. So
we might be League Cup champions 2014. I can't wait for our careers. But just quickly, like I said, I know we've spent a lot of time. I know Becca's been very patient on talk about Aki and all that and Kieran has. But with Leicester, you kind of worry if they get rid of Ruud van Nistelrooy, who do they bring in? Like, who would want that job now? Because Dan's hit the nail on the head. They come down to EFL, they're getting at least 6 points to next season, at least, because they just bought their way out of it unfairly last season. So, and they haven't got, and Enzo Maresca's not going to go back next year. They haven't got, is it Keenan Dewsbury Hall, who was the best player in the Championship by a mile last year? They haven't got all that. And Kieran said before, all the good players will leave because they want to play in the Premier League if they're internationals and all that. Jamie Vardy's about 78, so he's like kind of falling back a little bit now. So I really do fear for them, I must admit. I fear for them and I fear for Southampton. I don't think Southampton would do it. But I'm fully behind an Ipswich promotion push next year.
I wouldn't be convinced by Southampton, especially if they finish on the record low points total.
Yeah.
If they finish on what they'll be going into next season.
Looking at them games, though, Derby, John Eustace, what a job. What a job that man is doing. I think Derby are going to get themselves out of that. Well, currently are. And I think by the end of the curtain closes on the season, Derby will be a Championship club again.
Yeah. Cardiff City, whoever their manager is, what a fantastic job he's doing sending them down to League One. What a guy.
It's more, I know, like, obviously, Dan's... the Burnley thing and really exciting, but it's so exciting. The bottom, like look, obviously being in the comfortable position where we all are. Like, look at that relegation zone. It is so exciting when you see, and as you said before, you see, and I think everyone wants Derby to stay up because it's just like they're a good football club. They've been through the ringer, and they got Eustace back, and there was all this palaver from Blackburn fans and all that. But he wanted to go home, wanted to go to his own club, and he's done it. He has done a wonderful job, and he is. I tell you what, like, he is a freaking outstanding manager, isn't he? You got to put your head, you got to like kind of tip your hat to the bloke. Like, he's everywhere he's went, they've won games. Like Birmingham, they're in the playoffs and all that. He did a really good job at Blackburn, despite not having a penny to spend. Got them in. And you look at Blackburn since he's left, they've rocketed down that league. You know what I mean? And then he's took control of Derby. Had a few, teething issues, but since then, they're the form side now and. 41 points. You would never have said that like 6-7 weeks ago. So well done to him. Like I really do. I really hope to stay up. Like
I think with Blackburn, it's like, isn't that their 4th consecutive loss now?
Yeah.
Wait, it's like,
yes, it is.
But yeah, it ain't good for that. Right, this is going to be one of the most random things that I say on this podcast, but I've said random things before. We went to this like comedy event on Saturday, and there was a guy.
Park.
No, but it does involve Blackburn. And he told us that he is a season ticket holder for Blackburn Rovers, but enjoys going to watch Burnley.
What?
And people think I'm odd for my footballing teams that I support.
I'll tell you what, you can tell you're at a comedy show anyway, clearly. Yeah.
Yeah, was this the guy up front presenting the comedy act? Or...
No, it was asking if I was watching the Notts Forest match on my phone, but I had the Dundee and Rangers match on instead. And then we just ended up talking about football, and he told us that he's a season ticket holder at Rovers, but likes going to watch Burnley.
No. That's like me being a season ticket holder, obviously at Dale, but love going watching Oldham when Dale are away.
I'm glad you admit it, Char.
I don't.
Clip that one with no context.
That's just like saying, I said, don't even dare.
Clip it and cut that.
We can take that bit out.
Take that bit out. Got any context now? Fantastic.
Oh, you're all gonna have me now, aren't you? Bloody hell. Bloody hell. So the championship table, we have Sheffield United, who are top. You've got me all stressed now because of that. My anxiety and IBS can't take that. Top of the championship table, we have Sheffield United on 83 points. Leeds United are second on 81 points. Burnley are third on 81 points. Sunderland are fourth on 72 points. Coventry City are fifth on 59 points. And West Brom are sixth on 57 points. Yes, thank you, Sam. Thank you. And then in the relegation zone, Cardiff City are 22nd on 40 points. Luton Town are 23rd on 38 points. And Plymouth Argyle are bottom of the championship table on 34 points. See, I'm going to put this on now for context to everyone to see, so it's not me just like...
Too late now. I clipped that 2 minutes ago. Oh, yes.
Lou's got it in for me today.
Oh, seeing Cardiff City in red letters towards the end of the season. Oh, it's phenomenal, really, isn't it?
Johnny's clipped it and put it on his CV. Cough.
Anne, did you need to go now?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Lovely. Right, thanks everyone.
I'll see you later.
You know where I am.
See you later,
Anne.
Bye, Anne.
Bye.
Do you want me to remove you?
No.
Oh, he's gone. It looked like he was struggling. Right, League One. Rebecca, I'm going to come to you because I feel like we've not really spoke much tonight. So any standouts for you on here or any you do want to mention?
I mean, is it on here or have I got my dates mixed up? No, there it is. Because I have one from Saturday and then I've also got one from Tuesday. So, for the Crawley beating Rotherham 4-0. They're still putting up that fight to try and pull themselves out of the relegation, and they could be on to something here. But yeah, I thought a 4-0 win for Crawley was a really good result for them.
Jen. She agrees. Go on, Crawley.
I love the whole Scott Lindsay story of this season.
I do.
He's went to Crawley. He's made them look absolutely crap, to pretend he doesn't have any interest. He's went to MK. He's flushed them of a good amount of money, ruined their season. Now he's back at Crawley to keep him up. What a man, the absolute hero of football. Look at that, though. Stockport winning again. Claire will be buzzing.
She's not even here to talk about it.
Birmingham winning again. How boring. Oh, and Shrewsbury losing. Yeah, all right, fair enough. Checks out.
Jenna's put as well on the Crawley thing. I have a friend who's a Crawley fan and he was buzzing. Let's go back to the chat for a second. Sean has put, who's ready for my rant from Saturday? I am ready for your rant. So go for it, Sean.
Bring it on.
Chris has put Blackpool beating Bolton. That would have been mine as well.
Yeah,
And
that was a good result for Blackpool. I am a bit biased because they do have an Everton keeper on loan at the minute. So any good result for Blackpool is a good one with Harry.
I feel like every single team on the planet has an Everton goalkeeper on loan.
I mean,
or just an Everton player on loan.
Yes, there's a lot. There is a lot. But then I just end up knowing them all. So it's like we'll be stood there at Aki and they will get to it on the Tuesday match. And I'll just be like, oh, yeah, that's ex-Everton. That's ex-Everton. So everyone who stands around us knows every Everton player that's ever played.
Kyle has put Mansfield, all that needs to be said. And Michael has put Charlton, great bounce back, tough game, Posh as well. I wouldn't want to face them right now. They will give Brum a run in the cup.
I don't think they will. I think Birmingham just piss it all now. I think they win the league in the next week or two, and they go right. Who cares? And entire focus is on that final.
Yeah, possibly. That's a good shout. To be fair, Graham has put as well about the Charlton Huddersfield game. I pronounced my H then because I took my time. So Huddersfield at home, probably the most complete performance I've seen this season. Never gave Huddersfield a chance. 1-0 up after 31 seconds and we just dominated the whole game. 8 straight home wins now. Michael's also put, but Posh have won 8 out of 9. No, scoring for fun will be interesting. And Abraham Ado is on form at the minute. And who would have thought? I mentioned him on the podcast. I mentioned it on Tuesdays as well. But I called him out a little bit last week. Well, not called him out, but I said he's so frustrating because he's got so much potential, but no end product. Then he scored a worldie of a goal. And then we'll get onto it on Tuesday. He scored first half hat trick. And he did his celebration like art cup in his ears. And I thought, is that aimed at me? Does he watch this podcast? But who would have thought? I called him out and
he's
said,
going to do
that.
Proves
me wrong.
He's going to do that old Balotelli celebration. He's going to lift his shirt up and it's going to say Shah was wrong.
Yeah. You know what? I love to be proved wrong, though. I will happily hold my hands up when I'm wrong as well. So, yeah, it's great to see him, obviously, smashing it at the moment. But, Ben, is there any standouts for you or any you want to mention?
I mean, the one that's obviously been mentioned is Crawley's win against Rotherham for that to happen, at this stage of the season. If I'm right in thinking that Steve Evans has been sacked, or have I got that
wrong?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw club stay with Steve Evans and I thought, well, he's either been given a touchline ban or he's been given the sack. So it's never he's going to win manager of the month, which I'm not surprised about given Rotherham's position. But yeah, Scott Lindsay's doing his best. You just feel if it happened maybe just a little bit earlier for Crawley, I think he could have maybe got out of them. I still think it's going to be a bit much for them, to be honest, to stay up, but they'll certainly give it a good go. I mean, I'm not knocking them of that, but yeah, I just feel like if they brought him in just a little bit earlier, they could have got him out of trouble. But never know. That's the thing we say. Things happen in football for a reason. Like I say, what's happened? We've done with MK this year. Throw their season out the window. Come back to Crawley, keep him up. What a season that will be, especially.
I don't know. The only reason I'm half considering, saying Crawley even have half a chance, because what are they, 7, 8 points, something like that, adrift? Yeah. Bristol Rovers are obviously the ones that are kind of next to them, and they are dropping like a stone at the minute. tariff on Greg. So, the Bristol Rovers, and this is another one I'm really happy about. They are absolutely onking. They are terrible. And that's fantastic. It's a local away day, and it's another team I can't stand. So send them down as well. We'll batter them next year. Fantastic news, and we'll still finish 18th. But I think I feel like no other man would be able to say Crawley where they are other than Scott Lindsay. Nobody else would do anything of the sort.
Yeah, so a completely different challenge from like say from last year, but yeah, I think they'll give it a go, but I think they might just fall short personally. But again, I love to be proved wrong, and I would. And well, there's a part of me that wants Crawley to stay up, and there's the part of me that doesn't because they still haven't played Anthony Papadopoulos. I say this most weeks now, so he's played half an hour since he's gone back, and we could have had him for the whole season, but no, doesn't even make the squad anymore. So yeah, that'll be the result.
There's a thing that massively interests me when it comes to Crawley is if they are to go down, are they gonna challenge for top 7 again? Do they have the that same yeah? It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because the season they went up, everyone put them to go down. Now everyone thinks they're going back down because they shouldn't go back up, and they have a chance of staying up. So if they go back down and people think, oh, maybe they have a chance to go up, do they go down? Do they just do the opposite of what everyone expects? So they're a bizarre football club, and
but I think like we said about with Robert Sheffield Wednesday, the key that holds that club together probably for the last couple of years, let's be honest, is Scott Lindsay for what he's done there.
Yeah.
He's also brought some good experience as well with Neil Smith, being there as well for them because he's got plenty of experience in the Football League. I think he played for QPR for a number of years. He's also been a manager in the National League with Bromley, very charismatic manager. And like someone I would have wanted a Mason a few years ago when we were looking for managers. We've been begging for someone like him, but he works as an assistant manager as well. And I think him and Scott Lindsay would have a good relationship. So I think if they do go down, they'd be the best people to bring him back up. But who knows? I say they have still got 6 games to go. It's 18 points to play from. That's a lot, in terms of that 6 points off. And I know they lost to a last-minute goal, was it, on Tuesday, but they're still been taking a lot of positives of the fact that they are competing now, and then they've given themselves a fighting chance. But I just think they're just going to fall a little bit short, personally.
Just going to quickly go to the chat because there is quite a lot at the minute. Aled has put a great weekend in the south of England, stayed down in Bridgewater, spent the day in Exeter, a great city, fantastic fish cake. Benny's put clean sheet with 2 goals against the side in good form recently, only conceding 1 in 5 before our game. And then we have he's put as well, what a sloppy goal by Lincoln though. And then we have Sean. He has put Cambridge away. We went 1-0 up through Shah's fave player. Ryan Loft should have been sent off for an elbow to Mitch Pinnock, and then Lee Burge got fouled for Cambridge equaliser. EFL refs are a joke.
I was about to say, we've had a podcast where referees have not been mentioned up to now.
And then...
So there
it is. Luke has put 11 former non-league sides in League One. Oh, that's brilliant. Michael has put, yeah, that's brilliant. I love that. We have got as well Jen. She's mentioned obviously Reading as well. With everything going on, they are doing incredible. I completely agree. For anybody who isn't familiar really with the situation at Reading, we did do an episode last week, and Dave, a Reading fan, did come on and talk to everybody about the situation. So if you do have a moment, please go and watch that back because it is a real eye opener. It's
a terrible one because if I'm not mistaken, they're in the month, aren't they? Where it could all go basically tits up if it doesn't change now.
Yeah, a statement came out today, didn't it? I think I've been given a couple more weeks. I didn't really have time to read it properly. I think they've been given a couple more weeks for, is it the owner to basically kind of, because he's been told he's going to be disqualified, isn't he, from the...
They'll probably end up giving them until the end of the season, and then it needs to happen during the off season. Yet even saying that, when it happened to, what was it, Bury a few years ago,
We've got until
it was what, straight in the middle, smack bang middle of the season. They were just suspended and kicked out. Like if you ever look at their like fixtures on FOTMob, you'll see that they've got all these dedicated fixtures that they were supposed to play back in like 2019. That obviously they've never been able to play, but they're starting to get updates on their current league. No, it's terrible, isn't it? Because even though they're playing well on the pitch, I think unfortunately their minds are going to be on something completely unrelated than the actual good form those players are putting in.
It's just so sad because, as we mentioned obviously last week as well, this guy obviously there's been a couple more clubs he's had to do with who have obviously now no longer clubs, different countries, two of them. It was part of a company that wanted to take over Hull, and they weren't allowed to take over Hull because he failed a fit and proper test. But then obviously him and his sister managed to pass this fit and proper test for Reading, and it's absolutely disgusting. And yeah, I completely agree with Luke. All the way.
I still never, ever understand. Like, don't get me wrong. The only part of me that ever understands it is if it's like a relatively successful businessman who's never stepped into football. But, they've got a relatively good track record in their business ventures elsewhere. They go into another football club. It doesn't work. You can no longer say, they didn't pass the fit and proper. But this bloke's literally killed 2 other football clubs.
Yeah. How
can you allow that guy to go, oh yeah, third time's a charm, you'll do well this time? Nah, that just isn't how it works. I don't get it.
There's a lot of unnecessary people that come into clubs, pass these tests because they've got proof of funds, but they do it thinking that it's a way to boost their funds. I think Burnley's chairman's come out and said it now. He said he wanted to get involved in Burnley because of his family history. I think his dad worked in Lancashire, which was, strange to hear that, an American whose father had worked in Lancashire, and he wanted to sort of follow in his father's footsteps of being able to bring something successful. There's people that actually do have reasons for what they're trying to achieve. And he even said, I bought this football club and I didn't buy it because I thought I'm going to make money. He said, yes, I come from a Wall Street background. He said, however, this football club is costing me money week in, week out. It's, yes, it's making money, but it's costing me in the short term. And I think some of these show those proof of funds, but yet that's the only funds they've got, and they've got nothing else in the background to prove that they can sustain the level of funding that football clubs actually need. Because we're not just talking about stadium upkeep, we're talking about all those people that, the bloke from Reading spoke about last week, that it's the cleaners, it's everybody, it's livelihoods that are going to be sacked and chopped because they're going to have to try and recuperate money. And it's so hard. It's so disheartening to see. I think someone said when Blackburn had all their troubles, would you find it funny if they literally folded? And I wouldn't want them to fold. I can't stand them and whatever, but once you lose a team or a rival, what's the point? Football, the game's gone. The game's gone at that point. We shouldn't be we already think that on-field situations with referees are bad enough. But when it comes to ownership, I'm sorry, but that's a whole different ball game, and it just should not be happening in football when we've already been having discussions years ago about how much more money should be filtering down the football pyramid. And if these people can't afford to put that money in, get out.
Yeah, if you're going into a football club to try and make money, you understand, football clubs 99.9% of the time run at a yearly loss. So it's like you're not really
unless you're Chelsea, where you can sell your own women's team and somehow make 140 million profit. But
yeah, unless you do a few things.
Sorry, Ben.
I agree with you.
Wasn't it also selling a hotel to their own other business that they had, and then that got them out of FFP as well?
That balances their books. They give him
apologies again, Ben, but
they give him players 10-year
I don't really like the
contract.
owner either, to be honest. I can't. I don't think I can stand him.
Well,
Where's Roman?
You were able to extend their contracts to 9 years, so then annually the fee deducts a little bit. Sorry, Ben, but it's a little dodgy. It's a little strange.
But everyone, if you do want to talk Chelsea and the ownership issues, we do have a Premier League podcast every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. Obviously, we do have midweek fixtures as well in League One, and I will get to Sean's match report. Obviously, the Northampton game, he wasn't very happy, bless him. Rotherham at home, we conceded 2 crappy goals and should have defended better. However, we've had an apology about Saturday, but too little, too late. Jojo sang that, what a tune. And now 4 points off relegation.
I don't want to go another day. So I'm telling you exactly what is on my mind. Seems like everybody. Sorry, it's got me in mood now. I love that tune. Banger.
No, she had some tunes and leave, get out. Get out right now. What's a tune? But yeah, we have got Graham as well. He's put Mansfield away, really tough game. Mansfield made it really tough for us, but we ground out a tough and vital win thanks to goals from God. And he's on fire at the minute. And 2-pack to keep our amazing run going. Alan has put, didn't think I'd be saying this, but thank you, Shrewsbury.
I personally quite like Shrewsbury. I don't know what his problem are with them.
He doesn't like them. Doesn't like them very much. But Rebecca, any standout games for you?
Lincoln beating Huddersfield. Huddersfield dropping a bit further down out of the playoffs, I think, now. I mean, they're still in and about with it, but it was a good win for Lincoln. They have been massively up and down in form this season, and it was a start for Ethan Hamilton. So I was very happy because he's been on the bench quite a lot recently, so it's always good to see him start.
Love that. I love Ethan Hamilton. Ben, any standouts for you?
I would probably say, to be fair, just because derby games and that sort of thing. There's an important with the Bolton against Wigan Athletic.
Yes.
Away from home, big crowd as well would have been, and keeping up with the pack as well, because that's the thing, especially with putting under pressure with Reading as well, dropping points, that would have been good for them, especially with Huddersfield as well. And that's the thing, if you want to be in that sort of thing, you've got to take advantage of things when they drop points. And Bolton have done that, to be fair, because I dare say, even though Wigan have had a bit of a very tough season on the pitch, I think any derby game you sort of all think, obviously it's nice to win, but if you're away from home, get a point, it's a positive result. But to come away with all 3 for them, might just give them a bit more of a kick now in that last 7 games now to secure that top 7 spot. But and if not them as well, Burton Albion got an important win against Leyton Orient, who've been very up and down, as we've seen since obviously the cut runs ended. But again, now it's in their own hands now to get out of that bottom 4 if they can take advantage of that game in hand with their goal difference. That puts Bristol Rovers in a difficult position. So that would probably give their fans a lot of belief now they can get out of the situation, because obviously it was looked very bleak for them. If you're talking, so yeah, they're in a bit of a role. So if I think we said before, I think if we were a Bristol Rovers fan right now, I'd be very worried. I'd be looking over my shoulders right now, because I swear we keep looking at them and they're losing every week. So that'd be a massive worry for the gas, isn't it? The gas.
Yeah. Kieran, any standouts for you? You're on mute, mate.
You're on mute.
Mute.
So I got a mute button on my actual mic that I find out I don't think it works on StreamYard. Hold on, let me press this. You let me know. Well, actually, I've already got it pressed, so it should be muted right now, but it isn't. So that's interesting. So look, I've got a fancy red light on there. That should, in theory, mean that I'm muted, but no, I'm not. Anyway, looking at that, I mean, Exeter getting back to winning ways is always a good one. It's important to bounce back from a defeat. Stockport winning again. Vardy livid, player happy. I think that was actually mentioned in the WhatsApp at one point. But yeah, like Ben mentioned, it's a good win for Bolton against Wigan as well. And Bristol, come down to League Two, please, guys. Nice local trip, thank you.
Dan, is there any that you think's a standout or any you wanted to mention?
So, Bolton obviously had to get themselves back to winning ways. I don't know what it is with Wigan. I thought they'd actually make a go of it this year. But again, to be fair, I think I've expected that a lot of, being a Northerner, you sort of keep your eye over the Northern clubs. But yeah, Wigan seem to now be a bit of a staple of League One. And they've obviously had their heyday. But yeah, good to see Bolton back to winning ways, I guess.
I love that none of us have mentioned, the Crawley Peterborough game.
That was what I was going to mention. And Abraham Adol's hat trick.
That's been a penalty as well, wasn't it, to win it? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at it, and it was like Peterborough were 3-0, 3-1 up. Come on, half time. And I was like, well, that's Crawley's hopes mended. I've looked at it again half hour later or whatever it was. It's 3-3, and I'm like, hold on now. Then they've ended up still losing. Imagine how good those Crawley fans would be. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're proud to bring back that deficit, but you're so close to grabbing something against a good side, and then you lose it in that fashion. Absolutely gutting.
It's how it goes, doesn't it, when you're at near the bottom? Like when you're at the bottom, you just don't get any luck whatsoever, do you?
Mm-hmm. Back to that.
Just think how much it would have opened it up at the bottom end of that table as well if Crawley managed to win that game.
You're looking at it as well. Burton have given it a go, haven't they? They almost looked dead and buried a couple of months back. They're giving it a go, to be fair to them. Oh, Bristol, please come down. You're right next to it, lads. And your goal difference is worse. You want
it. Luke has put as well, Christ, Shrewsbury, I think your time has run out. So, the League One table, top of the table, we have Birmingham on 89 points. Wrexham are second on 78 points. Wycombe Wanderers are third on 75 points. Charlton Athletic, they're creeping up now, aren't they? Graham's team. I mean, they're doing really well. They are fourth.
Rooting for Lincoln when they played them next. I do apologise, Graham, but come on, Lincoln.
They are fourth on 72 points. Stockport County, Clare's team, are fifth on 71 points. Bolton Wanderers are sixth on 63 points. And then in the relegation zone, we have Burton Albion, who are 21st on 39 points. Crawley Town are 22nd on 36 points. Cambridge United are 23rd on 32 points. And Shrewsbury Town are 24th, bottom of League One, on 29.
This is the thing that makes it even more sad. Look how close Reading are to the playoffs. And you think this could be their last season in the EFL. Look how close they are. Like you should be able to, celebrate the fact that you're that close to potential promotion, but they can. They have to value every game as it comes because that they can only have 2-3 weeks potentially as a football club left, and that just must make it even worse. The fact that the players are doing so well, despite how awful it is off the pitch.
It's just so sad. So sad. It's just happening far too often as well. That's what frustrates me the most.
Yeah.
That's what frustrates me the most. Right. We are on League Two. Rebecca, Kieran, who wants to speak first?
I don't really have anything on the Notts County game, to be brutally honest with you. Their first goal was another defensive error, like the 4 goals out of 5 that Acton scored a few weeks back. It's another defensive error. The second goal was all right. Everyone was fuming with Nelson Jardine. We all want him gone. Even I want him gone. And I was trying to back him a few weeks ago, but I can't be out. He's doing my head in. So if he is still there next season, I'm being deadly truthful with this one. if by opening match week in League 2 next season, he is still manager or head coach or whatever the bloody role description is in Newport County, I'm not renewing my season ticket. I'm not watching that absolute shite. I cannot be bothered. I am sorry. I am not having it that we're trying to play like Man City with a centre-back who used to play for Taunton Town, right? He played for Taunton Town last season, right? And he's having to play like Johnny Stones. I can't be bothered. It's pathetic. The bloke would probably do all right higher up the pyramid because, you know, he has all the fancy football and whatnot. But he just doesn't suit League 2. He doesn't. No. And you know what annoys me even more? We look at the National League in Boston. Graham Coughlin was a manager we let go of because he wasn't good enough, apparently. What a bunch of crap. Honestly, honest to God. I hate this team at the minute. I hate them. I absolutely detest them. Apart from Bobby Campbell. He's class. Live in the Valley Door. Anyway, that's my Notts County will probably, they're going to finish in playoffs at very bare minimum. They looked all right, to be fair to them. Not that that's an easy thing to do. Not that that's an easy thing to do against Newport, but, they looked all right.
I agree with Michael. I really, really like Notts County, me. I think they've got a really good team. Very good team. I like watching them play.
I personally say Accrington Stanley are better, but there we are.
I like Accrington too. I just really like the way Notts County play the style of football.
Yeah.
But on Accrington, Rebecca,
yeah.
talk to us about Accrington.
I'm a bit happier to sort Saturday. You'll see a dip in my mood when we go to Tuesday. No, I mean, I know we don't usually talk 0-0s, but I feel like I'm allowed to because we kept a clean sheet, Andrew, at home to Bradford, which, I mean, especially with the impressive team that Bradford have, for us to be able to hold out for a 0-0, I mean, we can't score, and that is our issue. I think that was our third consecutive 0-0.
Yeah, but that's because it was on a Saturday, Bex, and not Tuesday. You'd have pissed all over them on a Tuesday.
Wait until you win Tuesday's result.
The thing I'm hearing here, Rebecca, I'm hearing it as a load of shit. You're saying that you can score. You're stuck 5 past us. You can score. You can do a thing.
I still don't know which Accrington Stanley team we played that night because that wasn't the team that we have at the minute.
I know is that Sean Wally wasn't there. That's all I know, which probably makes it even worse. It probably makes it even worse, doesn't it, really? Their best player isn't even there.
It was still injured for the Bradford match, and we were also without Tyler Walton, who's our second leading goal scorer because he was suspended. So that was his second match that he missed. So he was back for Tuesday. But to say Bradford a second could have gone top with a win, and we were the only team that had a shot on target. Don't know where that shot on target has come from, because I do not remember it, and I've watched the highlights and I've still not seen it, but it says we've had a shot on target, so I'll take it. They didn't have one. There was, honestly, to say that the second, there wasn't much of a challenge towards us, whether it was just an off day for them or whether, I've got no idea, but it was really good, like a clean sheet again for Bill Krellin, which, of course, I'm always going to be happy about. He has had stick quite a few matches, so for him to be able to keep a clean sheet, and then the shithousery of Josh Woods towards the end of the match, in terms of he wouldn't go off, so one of the Bradford players has picked him up and just put him at the side of the pitch. It was highly amusing. That was one of the highlights on it. It was so funny because he's just winding them all up throughout the majority of the match. He just gets picked up and moved to the side, but this, the player that picked him up is a unit. So it's you don't want to mess with him. So for him to just do that. But yeah, a point to point, it was an important one, as we'll see when we get to Tuesday. But yeah, it was a 0-0.
It's a good point in all fairness against that kind of stuff.
It's a very good point.
Yeah.
Especially to say when we went to Bradford, I think that match was again, we could have got a 0-0 out of it. I think we hit the post, and then there was a bit of a mix-up at the back where I think it was like goalkeeper issue, but that was the start of Bradford's really good run as well. So it's like we have done okay against Bradford, and then to get a 0-0, but it's just frustrating again because we seem to be performing against the teams that we don't need the result off. There's like teams closer to us that we need to be beating, and as I said, we'll get to Tuesday, but it's like, I mean, to get a point from Bradford was really good.
And look what Dietrich's put.
Yes, it was a very good highlight, even if I did start screaming Billy Krellin when I was walking over to her.
You got over, weren't you? Just go. I'd be disappointed if you didn't.
Yeah. Just singing Billy Krellin chant, just confusing there.
I love it. I love it. Do you know what, Rebecca? I'll come to you again. Any standouts on this slide for you?
I apologise now, Kieran, but Notts County beating Newport. Charlie Whittaker double, so it's always good to see him doing well. I mean, Morecambe getting the win against Swindon, like the first of two for them. I mean, it's one of them for me, and I'm going to apologise for saying this. I am not happy with that result because it pulls them closer to us. But I mean, fair play to Morecambe, like what they're going through and everything they have. Like, they've stuck together and are moving up with it. But for me, it's one of them where it's like, as much as I'm happy for Jen, I'm there going, oh, for God's sake, here we go again. We're straight back in it.
Chris has put as well, Walsall with another draw, 4 in a row.
They are still top of League Two is bizarre to me.
It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
I understand, they were what, 16, 17 points clear. You think, oh, bloody hell, they're pissing the league. They're doing a Birmingham here. Now, all of a sudden, it's been 1 point for the past 4 weeks, and they're still top of the league. Not a single team in this division wants to actually win the league, which I find incredibly funny. But then I also question if none of these teams can be convincing enough to, pick up a title with a bit of a gap in League Two, how are any of them realistically going to fare in League One? Because you always see, a team or two out of this division who go up. You can tell they're miles clear of the rest, and they go on and do well. You've not really seen that at all. Walsall have lost a striker, and now they can't bloody buy a win. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. But Carlisle lost again. They're going down.
I know. Luke actually mentioned that. He's put, I'm sorry, but Carlisle look like they're going to National League. I wouldn't mind a trip there next season if we don't go up via the playoffs, even though it's a shithole.
Weirdly enough, this all does a nice circle. Because guess who we've got on the weekend? Carlisle. Guess where it is? Away. Guess what I've done? Book tickets. What's wrong with me? Why am I going? And you know what else is going to be really funny? We're going to lose to Carlisle, and then everyone's going to be saying, "Ooh, is there a chance to get out of it?" What a good amount of fun it's going to be.
We got beat off Carlisle, if that's any consolation. I think they beat us 2-1. God, that was a horrendous away match, that one.
I wouldn't even say Tranmere or Morecambe. I'd more switch Tranmere there for Harrogate.
Harrogate, 100%. They're going down.
I don't want to see them go down because Bryn Morris plays for him. I quite like.
I want to see him go down, and I want to see us replace him.
That'll do. Yeah, that's fine.
That'll do, donkey.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
Michael has put as well. Is that on the next slide? Am I getting to?
No, it's on this one.
It's there. Ooh. I mean, we always like to see MK lose, don't we? But I mean.
Big loss for the franchise.
Pete Wild is there, isn't he, at Fleetwood?
My only half redeeming reason for going to any of these games for the rest of the season is I just want to see us finish above MK. Because it'll just be really funny. Because you look at it in hindsight, you say to someone who hasn't watched the season, you go, "Oh, Newport finished above MK," and you go, "Oh, did Newport get the automatics top 3?" Now we finished 17th, man. They just somehow finished on.
Just going back to the chat, obviously, Morecambe. So Graham put, Morecambe have their best few days and Jen's not here to talk about in person. She's put, Derek Adams is at the wheel and she's fuming, Graham, fuming. And she put, wanting to talk about Derek Adams pegging it down the corridor to try lock our goalkeeping coach out as well. You can talk about it next week, Jen. Do not worry. He's also put, timing sucks for sure. You'll just have to win again Saturday so you can come back on next week and talk about it. And obviously about us hopefully replacing Harrogate. She put, yes, Sharon, then I can finally come home and do a Rochdale fixture. Just come home and come to a Dale game anyway. I mean, the pies are great. The chip is great. And you can see me. That's not so great. That's not so great, Stephen.
Football.
Devante Rodney's there as well. So
Devante Rodney's there, yeah.
You can't complain. Even more of a backing up thing to say that Harrogate are probably in more chance of going down than Tranmere. It's even shown on this slide. Harrogate have dropped points to a very inconsistent and rather crap Gillingham side, I must admit. And Tranmere have beat an actual solid Cheltenham side. So that shows you probably all you need to know about which one to back into going down to the National League, which apparently is impossible to get out of. Which I wouldn't know. We've been stuck here for 13 years, so I wouldn't know.
Ben, what was you saying, sorry?
Oh, it's like it's all right for some can't even stay in the National League, let alone get out of it. We're going to get out of it just at the wrong end.
Is there any standouts for anyone before I move on to the next slide? I mean, the Salford-Bromley game looked like a good game.
Yeah, it did. I would have also said Chesterfield, to be fair, against Barrow.
100%.
They've kept their playoff hopes alive, and I thought it was sort of dwindling a little bit. But knowing they've still got a game in hand, and winning that, they go 1 point, 1 point off the playoffs. So I think I'd back them, to be honest, to get in the top 7, to be fair. But again, Grimsby have had such a good season. But I still can't believe they're in 7th place with a -3 goal difference.
They still have a minus goal difference.
I know. But that's what we'll let them know. You think looking at AFC Wimbledon, 3 points above them, they've got a 25 plus goal difference over them, plus 22. Like that's ridiculous.
When I was looking at these games, that Colchester Grimsby one was the main one for me, because that's 2 teams right next to playoffs. And Grimsby have come out on the better end. Who would have put them to get in playoffs at the start of the season? Absolutely nobody.
Artell, though, I mentioned it last week. I love Artell. I think he's such a good manager.
He's a project manager, isn't he? 100%. He dedicates a few years to kind of building his craft and shaping the team how he wants it, and then they start getting results. But he's only been there, season and a half?
Yeah.
So the fact it's happened that quick is quite surprising, but it just shows if you give a manager time, maybe it turns out all right, unless you talk about Nelson Jardim, in which case get him in the bin now.
Before we talk about, obviously, Accrington and the Newport game, Ben, I'll come to you first. Any standouts on this slide for you?
I think because I didn't mention it for the Saturday game, but obviously Morecambe's 2-0 win over Cheltenham. I think just because, the whole context of the fact that looking this time last week, I think Jen was ready to give up with it. And I think, to be fair, I wouldn't have blamed her. You think they were 10 points off, whatever it was, from safety. And somehow it's funny what a week does in football, doesn't it? The fact they've cut the gap down now to 4 points, and they've still got to play Carlisle as well, which obviously we've mentioned that. So that's a huge 6-pointer now for them. And that probably will be the decider in terms of, have they got the stomach to get out of it. And look, I think obviously, we're putting a lot of us would like to see Harrogate drop out, but I think just 9 points, I think just might be a bit too much for them to be pulled into it, to be fair. But I still think it's going to be one of either Morecambe or Tranmere. And obviously we all hope it's Tranmere. But that's a tremendous result for them, and obviously I think 2 back-to-back clean sheets as well for them will do in the world of good, for that side. And obviously pleased with Jen more than anything. So that'd probably be my my standout one. But then against Swindon as well, against Wimbledon, that's a good one as well, special mention for them.
Oh, I know. And our lovely Uncle Nick. It made me laugh what Graham put. With your accent, Shara, I thought you were saying Artel, not Artel.
Our man. What a blow.
Artel.
Oh, look, MK lost again. Hey,
Oh.
it's a good week of football.
Dan, is there any standouts for you on here?
I was just going to say the same as what Ben said. The Harrogate game, really, as well. I know we just said about them potentially dropping, but to get a win over a relegation rival, it's massive for them. I just don't think they've got enough about them to see it out till the end of the season.
Rebecca?
Standouts, I mean, another win for Notts County. I do apologise to Dreesy for this one, but Port Vale and Bradford, it's another drop of points for Bradford. I mean, it's like they went on such a good run and then it's just gone down since. So it's like that's an interesting one. But Port Vale have been like one that you don't expect, but they've come up quite a lot this season, and the results that they've been getting have been quite strong, and they are taking on the bigger teams.
Yeah,
I'll give them credit where it's due. I mean, they started off really well. Then they dropped out a little bit, and they were teetering towards playoffs. And now, if I'm not mistaken, they're level on points with Bradford. It was a mental midweek for actually the top end of League Two, because the only reason that Walsall are now still top of the league, they drew with Doncaster where they scored in the 91st minute or whatever it was to get that point, and it's because Bradford lost as well. So apparently, no matter what happens, Walsall are top of the league.
I think you've got to look at the fact as well that Doncaster win their game in hand. All three teams, second to fourth, are going to be on 70 points, and goal difference is so close as well. I think that would put there'll be one goal difference between Doncaster and Port Vale at least, potentially. Mm-hmm. But then Bradford's goal difference is only 5 better at the moment, and all it takes is a 2-0 defeat and a 2-0 win for one of those teams each way, and then suddenly you're level again. So that's how close it is, and it's hard to call because I'd like to say Notts County are going to do it still, I think.
I mean, even when you're looking at it again, Ben, I think Walsall are on 71 points. So then you're looking at 1 point, 71, 71, 72. So even then, we could be looking at in between, realistically, for first to fifth, having 2 points in between it all. Which, but again, it's really funny, given where Walsall were at Christmas.
Dietrich mentioned as well, Walsall have got Port Vale on Saturday.
Surely this is the weekend they drop off the top spot, because I swear, if Port Vale win, they go above Walsall. And they've just beaten Bradford, who could have went top if they beat Port Vale. So if Port Vale now don't take that chance that they've had, I swear down. You'd swear I hate Walsall. I mean, I do, but you'd swear I hate them a lot more than I actually do.
We've got Walsall,
Oh yeah, we've got Walsall at home before the end of the season as well.
Everyone's got Walsall.
Yeah, we've all got Walsall. They're all going to be draws as well, and every other team's going to lose.
Kieran, any other standouts that we haven't mentioned?
I think the only other one that's ever so slightly relevant is Colchester dropping points at Gillingham. I think that's it opens a tiny bit of a gap, from them in the playoffs. But then you've got Crewe who beat Grimsby, and now they've put themselves next to the playoffs. So it could have been, if Grimsby would have beaten Crewe, they would have been in an absolutely prime position to basically lock that top 7 off from everyone. But now that they've lost to Crewe are now back into it, and Colchester are a little bit behind again. So, promotion doesn't want to make its mind up in this division, apparently.
Rebecca, talk to us about Aki.
I don't even know where to start. Like, honestly, the drop that we went through from Saturday to Tuesday, I don't know whether they were tired or what. There just seems to be no game plan at all. It's like you just put 11 men on the pitch and went play, and they'd never played together before. It was chaos. Like, we've not seen like that bad of a performance in a very long time, especially against Fleetwood, which is a team that we should be trying to at least get a point from. And we're heading into it thinking, right, get a point, especially with the results at weekend with Morecambe. We need to just be picking up as many points as possible. I mean, the match started with like a bit of a challenge on Devon Matthews in which he went down. We wouldn't have got a free kick at anything if it wasn't for the fourth official. The ref looking directly at it and was like, nah, it's right. In which Devon Matthews then not long after had to be subbed through injury. But yeah, the first goal, defensive error, we just allowed their player to run straight through on goal and he scored. And then Devon Matthews, who has been one of our standouts this season, was taken off injured, really hoping it's nothing too serious. But, I mean, on the plus side, it did mean Seb came on. So, of course, I was happy. But we all know how much I love Seb Quirk, and I think he is a very good player and everything like that. Please, can we stop playing him as right back? Because this lad is not a right back. We've played him left back. We've played him centre back. We're now trying him as right back. His natural position is midfield, and I don't think I've ever seen him play in midfield for Aki. Played him everywhere else but his natural position. We can fill in
net next.
I wouldn't put it past honestly. Just he'll be up front next week. It's just one of them. But honestly, he's not a right back, and it proved it because he ended up drifting out of position a few times, and it wasn't. But we did have a right back on the pitch who got subbed at half time. So I don't know what the game plan was, and I don't even think the manager or anyone else knew, because there was a right back there that weren't playing as right back. So that was that. We did make changes at half time. Sean Morley returned from injury.
Yay! I like him.
Yeah,
my favourite Aki player.
to say he's our leading goal scorer and he's a midfielder, it just shows like what we've been going through this season. But honestly, he's incredible, and he did change the match for us. We had a good, I think it was like 5-10 minute spell of positivity in which we did finally score. So I'm not part of I'm not on the receiving end of a 4-0. It was only 4-1, so I can't be added to that group. But yeah, Ben Wood's equalising. It was a really nice goal. But then they added a second 10 minutes later, and then every fan is just like screaming, we need to make a change. You're 2-1 down, you're still in it. You're thinking, right, we could see, I think it was Charlie Brown and Josh Woods warming up. So 2 attacking players, you're like, right, get them on as soon as we can try and get back in this. We had our bit of a positive spell. Then we scored an own goal.
Oh.
Which was absolutely heartbreaking for Conor Grant. It was his first start for a while, and then honestly it was heartbreaking. He just led there as soon as it went in on floor, and it was I could have cried for him. It was honestly heartbreaking. And then one of them, it was just unfortunate placement. Like, there wasn't much that could be done with it. And then we made the changes. So you're 3-1 down and you bring on your attacking players. And I think there must have been like 5 minutes left at this point. So it's still really annoying. But Josh Woods and Charlie Brown came on for then Fleetwood to add the fourth through Mackenzie Hunt, who is an ex-Everton Academy player, in which as soon as he came on, me and my dad turned to each other and said, yeah, he's going to end up scoring here.
Aww.
Free kick, whips it in, and you just say, like, yeah, that was that. It was a very frustrating watch, and fans weren't happy at the end of it. There is, like, a lot, apparently, like, behind the scenes where we have fit players that he's just refusing to play, and there's, like, just loads of things like that. So it is a bit of an odd one at the minute. We need to be picking points up. 6 points off now with Morecambe, and we can see them winning. I don't know where an Aki win is going to come from, and that's what's scary at the minute. Of we're not playing as we should be. We're not looking like a team that is on the brink of getting pulled straight back into a relegation battle, and that needs to change. It's a long trip to Bromley on Saturday, which it will be a tough one. It really will be, but we need to see the fight again from the players, because the team that turned up on Tuesday was a team that looked like we're safe. We're like 10th in the league. We're fine. We're going to see next season. But at this moment in time, I think it's hit every fan again where it's like, oh my God, this is back to what it could be. We've got Tranmere next weekend as well. So again, we've got winnable matches, but they are massive matches for us. I mean, the Tranmere one's a 6-pointer. We've got Carlisle coming up as well. So these are all big matches that we need to be performing for, and we need to have a game plan for, because I think, like quite a few times I said, we don't know what our starting 11 is. Every week it is something completely different, and it's just not working. I mean, to say we had Tyler Walton back, it just weren't happening. Yeah, Charlie Brown is his real name.
It reminds me of Cha-Cha Slide at the end when he goes, Charlie Brown.
We all just, when he signed, we all just thought of Snoopy. But yeah, it's not fun at the minute. Hopefully we can turn it back around. But yeah, at least the only positive was we scored, which is something that we've not been able to do. And it was a decent goal. But yeah, fingers crossed we can get something from Bromley, and I can hopefully cross off. I have a bingo sheet and I've got a Josh Woods hat trick on there, which is very out there and very random to put on. So hopefully that could happen.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Graham has put, you'll beat Bromley and all their plastic Palace fans. Or I like Bromley, to be fair. I obviously want Accrington to win now.
Thank you.
Worst away end, though, in the league, by far. A horrible away experience as a supporter.
Right.
They might have improved it since we last went, but it was terrible the last time I went. The food's awful, I'll tell you that.
You're trying to say it competes with Gillingham?
I'll let you know.
It does compete with Gillingham strongly, I would say.
Ooh.
Well, saying that, I quite enjoyed Gillingham, so maybe I'd like Bromley.
Speaking of Gillingham, didn't they sack John Coleman this week or last week?
Yeah.
Well, they're putting the
Ainsworth, right? They brought him in.
Yeah.
Because that didn't go down well, because I think it's one of them where John and Jimmy weren't told and didn't know, and then they found out through social media, I think. So then it's like, apparently, I'm not sure, I think it's something like that. So then a few Aki fans have made the joke of, well, at least Andy Holt text them to let them know.
Andy Holt's like, karma.
Even though they dedicated so many years into the club. What an interesting bloke he is. He really is an interesting guy.
I don't think he's on Twitter anymore. I think he's removed.
He'll be back next week. It's all right.
As soon as he's got a rant to put out, he'll be back on.
I think it went on LinkedIn when all of the stuff came out about the hospitality bar and that. Because I think there might be an update on that coming soon, because there was a council meeting, and I think the meeting has gone more in in the club's favour than
7:35 instead of 7:30. You get an extra 5 minutes.
So I think with that now, I think we could be getting funding off the council to then be able to soundproof all of Collies and hospitality, but that will be an update that comes later on, I think.
Fingers crossed, because it's needed. Like you say, that it's these sort of parts of football clubs that are a heartbeat of a community, and it needs to be showcased more so instead of hidden away. So Harburn Council do need to change their way of thinking on it, big time.
Kieran, Newport.
I forgot. I'm going to be honest with you. Part of me was hoping you were going to entirely forget and just go,
I can pretend. Right.
Feel free to pretend.
No, if you've got something to talk about, you can. If you haven't, it's fine.
It's very minimal, to be brutally honest with you. That's what both of them were. I was talking about the Taunton Town centre back who has to play like John Stones. Funnily enough, he opened the scoring for us about 35 minutes into the game. Thought it was a relatively cagey affair up until there. Then we did the thing that I've noticed we've done quite a lot this season, but not every game because we don't have a plan, even though Nelson Jardine says we only have a one plan, but I've still not seen what that one plan is because it's never been concrete the whole season. He does my absolute head and he winds me up. But we decided after going 1-0 up after 35 minutes, no, we won't push for a second against the Bromley side, who, I'll be honest with you, they looked fatigued, if anything. They just kind of, that we're at a point of the season where they probably don't have anything to play for. They've had a good season. They just kind of look like, they wanted to see the season out. So I would, you'd potentially think, don't get me wrong, we're 11 points clear of relegation. There's 6 games to go. I don't really think anything comes from that. But you'd still think we probably, out of the two sides, especially at home, have more to play for. More for pride than anything. No, we go 1-0 up and then we sit back for 75 minutes. Or, well, I say 75 minutes. We concede around the 75th minute. To TikTok influencer sensation Michael Cheek. And I'm sure he'll be whacking that one up on his TikTok in the next few days. The one thing I have to say about Bromley, you could see why they've done well. They're a physical bunch.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at I saw it when we played them away, but they had taller midfielders. I don't know where their tall midfield's gone because they're all tiny now. But I'm looking at their centre backs and I'm going, he's 6'5", he's 6'6". He's about 12 foot tall. He looks like he struggles to reach the top shelf because he's too high up. Never mind actually being too low down to reach him. Michael Cheek varies from a really simple cross. I could argue it's the defensive error because we've not tracked the man back down. But I think I put a quite angry voice message into one of my 17 million WhatsApp groups I'm in, saying these players look like they've been on holiday since January. And I'd understand it if we were 13th, nothing to play for. But you think we lose these next 4 games. We've got Carlisle coming up. We've got like Walsall and whatnot as well. We've got a relatively difficult running into the rest of the season. We lose 4 of these 6 games, which I think we realistically will. You could talk about us being dragged back into it. I understand that relies on, Morecambe keeping up a good run, potentially Carlisle picking up a few points as well. But there's no reason why we can't be dragged back into it. And if we are, it would be the final day, or at least the second to last, that we'd even be in the remote possibility of it. If we get to that point where we're 2-3 points off a relegation, we go down. There's no reason. The only reason we haven't been in that contention is because we had a really weird blue patch around February, or green patch, whatever the bloody term is, where we won 4 games on the spin. That's the only reason that we're not talking relegation right now. And I could say I'm worried, but there's very little about these players that I don't think we can improve on. These players aren't League 2 standard, or at least 9 out of 11 of our starting 11 aren't up to League 2. And I understand they're young and they've got an inexperienced coach and whatever, but it's just not been pretty. And Bromley probably should have won, truth be told. We've pinched a point. Fair enough. If we lose to Carlisle, the head loss I'm going to experience is going to be one like no other, because they looked absolutely clueless when they came to our place. But there's my 2 Newport depression, anger rants, and I will repeat this. Nelson Jardine, Max, I know you're watching this. I know you're watching. Right. Have a listen to me now, fella. Right. You're going to win at least 2 of these final 6. Ideally 3 to make sure we're fine. And if we don't, I'm going to be tanting with you. And I'm going to be giving you very, very stern and very angry expressions from a reasonable distance away. But it's going to be enough of a distance to where you can see it. Yeah. It's not going to be pretty, fella. It's a really nice. He's a really nice guy to have within all of his fairness, but he has absolutely no clue how to manage a football side.
I bet he's shaking right now.
Bobby Cam was still good at football, though, I will say. Yet saying that, it looks like he's been overplayed because the poor bloke cannot run for the rest of the he used to be able to take on a man all the time. You'd be confident he'd win a one-on-one. Now he just turns around and passes it backwards. Poor bloke's knackered. He's played like 55 games this season. Give him a rest. And have a breather. Hey, Wilfred Barney's son or something. I don't know.
I can see Kieran just being it stands at Rodney Pereira. I'm watching you, Jardine.
And you can also see him just getting closer and closer every time he turns round until the point where he's just face to face.
I absolutely.
Them videos where someone flicks the light switch and it goes dark and then it comes back on.
This is my Rodney Braid stands. We're 1-0 up. It's never been quieter. I can hear what Jardim's saying and what he's shouting. And usually I would expect the manager to be shouting really, impressive things that, captivate me and make me think, oh, this guy's the right man. But I just heard him go, 1, 1, 1. And I'm like, what? What's this supposed to mean? Like, what are you on about? Do you want to know a goalkeeper, the number 1, to go up front? I don't get it. But yeah, very angry and firm looks, Nelson Jardine. And clap the fans, I don't know. Come on, man. You clap the one part of them. You don't clap the other part. Clap both. They deserve it. I've spent £200 on a season ticket. Nothing but misery since September. Apart from Batter and MK. Show me that you care, please. Show me that you care. Anyway, nice and calm.
I was going to say.
Nice and calm.
Or just put Newport in the Welsh League and you might actually win it.
We still wouldn't win it, Matt. TNS would still win every year. Man, it's League 2 forever. Even if we managed, I should speak English. Even if we managed to go bust, we'd still be in League 2. Be in League 2 without a team. Even if we got relegated, we'd be stuck in League 2. I hate this division. Can we end the podcast before I go on another hour rant?
I was going to say we will end the podcast.
I'm watching you, Mike Wazowski. I'm watching you.
Dietrich has mentioned obviously about the Bradford game. This isn't a great match report, but we definitely need a result on Saturday. Huge crowd again at Valley Parade. 21,000 fans expected to attend. Huge game. Love that. She's put as well-deserved Port Vale, as we weren't great, unfortunately, missed a penalty as well. But it is what it is. I love Dietrich so much. The positivity. She's always so happy and positive. I love that. Great. Graham put as well, I love what Bradford are doing with the ticket prices to get the big crowds in. We used to do it too. Always love a club getting fans in grounds offering decent prices. And she's put back to that. Graham, we got over 23,000 against Colchester a couple of weeks ago, hoping for the same Saturday.
I think Walsall are doing the same thing. It's like £5-10 a ticket.
Yeah, I think it's the last home match of the season. When we go there, it's £10 a ticket.
Love that initiative. But yeah, the League 2 table. So top of the table, will they still be there on Saturday? I do not know. But it is Walsall. It is Walsall on 72 points. Bradford is second on 70 points. Port Vale are third on 70 points. Notts County are fourth on 68 points. Doncaster Rovers are fifth on 67 points. AFC Wimbledon are sixth on 65 points. And Grimsby Town are seventh on 62 points. And then in the relegation zone, hopefully not for long though, we have Morecambe, who are 23rd on 36 points. And Carlisle United are bottom of the League 2 table on 31 points. And that is the end of the football talk. It's been a long one, hasn't it? We've covered a lot tonight. They have covered a lot.
If I wouldn't have went on my 20-minute rant about watching Nelson Jardine, we might have been all right, but I mean...
Don't worry.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
the one where you said you didn't have much to say about the game.
Didn't have much to say.
Well, within my credit, I didn't actually say that much about the game.
Yeah,
to be fair, Kim, you said more than what Jardine says on the touchline.
I said more
1-1-1.
than he says. I said
111 minutes of Kieran rants.
Yeah. Within cred as well, I say more than unique and different words that he says on post-match press conferences. It's the same thing every single week. We tried well, didn't work. Go again next week. Every week, have a day off. Give me some personality. To say we were shit, say everyone was crap. Prefer that.
So it is the end of the Absolute Football Podcast.
Before he starts again.
I know.
It's your fault. You allowed me to talk about Newport now. Jardine's there. It's your fault.
Rebecca, where can everybody find you on the socials?
I'm probably still listening to Kieran go on about Newport.
Hey, it's not Newport, it's Nelson Jardine I'm going on.
You can find my personal Twitter and TikTok, which is _Rebecca_shot_. You can find my Her Game 2 content at Her Game 2 ASFC and Her Game 2 Ice Hockey. And if there are any dedicated fixtures this weekend, and if anyone is attending them, please get involved, because I know the hard work that everyone is putting into these, and they are just incredible to see. So this goes for any match. If there's anything Her Game 2 related, please get involved, whether it's a selfie frame or just saying hi to the ambassador. It is amazing to get everyone involved.
Completely agree. Ben, where can everybody find you on the socials?
Well, first of all, I think we can vouch for that. Everyone gets a Western Supermare on Saturday for the Her Game 2 dedicated fixture. We could do with a big crowd down there, obviously. It's Ben Stones FC1 on Twitter. If you find me, I'm very quiet on Saturday evening. You'll know that our game didn't go to plan. So otherwise, you might see some positive tweets. Otherwise, so that's the place to find me.
You're not getting any more camera time this week?
No more camera time?
Yeah, you had a 4-minute cameo last time, didn't you?
Did I? What, Western Supermare?
What we were talking about some other week. You said you got a cameo in somewhere.
Oh, I can't remember, to be honest. I get a cameo on TikTok. That's
4
the
second.
One.
Yeah.
TikTok, yeah. George Fowler, put me in more in your TikTok clips, yeah? I'm the one that makes it. But give me credit, you get reposts. 100,000 followers, yeah?
Love it.
Oh, Ben.
Kieran, where can everybody find you on the socials?
Still bitching about Nelson Jardine, probably. You set me off. There, I got the point first time. Isn't that fantastic news?
Kieran, on mine, you didn't. You were just pointing.
He did the opposite.
On my side, I'm pointing. Wait, so you're seeing it there?
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm seeing it there. That's where I'm seeing it. Okay, whatever. Pissed off now. Right. Anyway, mainly on the Tiki Talk, where, believe it or not, I don't whinge about Nelson Jardine. I don't actually really use Twitter either to whinge about Nelson Jardine. I just do it here. Just here. You know, every now and again, come on here, go. He's somehow annoyed me this week. When's the podcast? I'll be back. But yeah, Kieran Media on like everything. Mainly the Tiki Talk. Drop us a follow, please. Thank you.
Dan the man. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, I'm going to start getting my channel back up and running. I need to do something with it. But if not, just at Turf Morehouse on all social media. And yeah, just chilling and chatting shit as per usual.
I love it. And if anybody does want to find me, I am SharXRFC. That is on I cannot speak. That is on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. My Her Game 2 stuff is Rochdale HGT and all of them socials. But of course, the main ones We are. Bear with me 1 minute. I need to cough. We are the Absolute Football Podcast, Best New Content Creator at the Football Content Awards. I'm going to keep saying it. Sam's going to keep saying it. And Freya's going to keep saying it because we're going to milk it until we're not. We won it. We were there and we won it. But yes, we are Absolute Ball Pod on Twitter, on YouTube and Twitch. We are Absolute Football Podcast. On TikTok, we are Absolute Football Pod. On Instagram, we are Absolute Football Podcast _. On Blue Skies, Absolute Football. And on Facebook, we are the Absolute Football Podcast. On a Tuesday, you can find our Absolutely Premier League show with Sam and the gang. Our women's football show with Freya is on a Wednesday. And then, of course, Absolutely Lower League with all of us, where we cover the EFL Championship, League 1, League 2, Vanarama National League, Vanarama National League North and South is on a Thursday. All of them are on at 8:30. And yeah, I just want to thank everyone in the chat as well for joining us. Hope you all have a lovely weekend, apart from Chris. Fingers crossed, nothing personal. But it's a massive, massive game. Good luck to each and every person with their football. And yeah, have a lovely weekend. Bye, everyone.